It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web. Or play it if you dare. At the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen, and it is Wednesday, and we're going to be doing 2040 no limit hold'em, $2,000 minimum, unrestricted buy-in game. Now, hopefully the Greek poker god George Georgian will be joining me in the booth shortly. I just got a text message from him. He's stuck in a little bit of traffic, and we've got an action game, action-packed here for today. Last week was one for the history books. Let's see if we can get that type of game going this week. Let's start it up. Let's head over to the table and let's introduce the players. Seat number 1. They call her Corporation Mom. It's Trish. Now, seat number 2 is locked up for Ed Shanananananazarian. He is not here yet, but he is on the way. Stuck in traffic. Seat 2. Seat number 3, we got Patrick in the game. Action Patrick. Haven't seen him on the show in a while. Seat number 4, we have got Zhang. So that's Zhang there in seat number 4. New player. Some of the guys said he was good for the game. Never seen him play. He's supposedly an action player. Seat number 5, we've got Corporation Mike. In seat number 6, we got the tight, solid Kenny Wynn. Seat number 7, the ever-lovable Barry Woods. Seat number 8, another Live at the Bike usual, Amir. And rounding off the lineup in seat 9, that's Alan. And George Georgian is here in the booth. And here we go.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing,
Brian? How you doing?
All right.
Stuck in traffic. Sorry about that.
It's okay. This is going to be one for the ages here. Now, right before the show, Mike doubled up Amir.
Mike doubled up Amir.
Right before the show, yep. Now, we're playing 2040 No Limit Hold'em. The brown chips are $10 chips. The whites are 100. It's an unrestricted buy-in game. So we got seat 3, seat 4, seat 5, real action players in the game. This is going to be an interesting one. Now, have you ever seen seat 4 before?
No, I've never played with seat 4. Patrick, seat 3, I've played with. A lot of action.
Now, we got a limp here by Patrick from up front with 5, 6 of diamonds. Mike's going to bring it in for a raise with Big Slick offsuit in seat 5, Ace King offsuit. Barry calls him in position with 9, 6 of clubs. Alan is going to call him the big blind. And Patrick here, Patrick looks like he is going to make the call as well. Or did I hear re-raise? Let's see here. I thought I heard him say raise. No, looks like it's just a call. We're going to see this 1, 2, 3, 4-way action here. Pot is close to 700 already. Mike the pre-flop raiser. And he hits the king. King 6 Jack here, and George, doesn't look like anyone's really going to get into a lot of trouble here.
Now that should do it. That should do it. Mike's got Big Slick. He doesn't normally slow play this hand.
He's going to bet 360, a little bit of a half pot size bet here. Barry Woods has got bottom pair. I'm sure he's not in there to hit the 6. He's going to lay it down. Alan's out of there. You never know with Patrick, but he lets go of 5, 6.
You never do. He could easily come over the top and try and put a play on Mike, and I'm sure the money would go in immediately.
This is really going to be a crazy game there. I'm looking forward to see how seat 4 plays.
Now you said Mike doubled up Amir.
Yep.
How much was that exactly?
I think it looked like Amir had probably bought in for about either 2,000 or 3,000. So he bought in for 2,000, so Amir doubled up. But it looks like he's got way more than 4,000 there in front of him. It looks like he's got like 7 in front of him. So you never know. He might have won a hand even before that, George.
Okay. Just wondering how much Mike was stuck and how that would affect the game.
Yeah, well, he's already stuck already. Live straddle here by Patrick in seat number 3. So it's going to be 80 to go here. Of course, it's double the big blind, and he will have the option. And Mike looks like he is going to call with 10-6 suited. Now, Barry Wood just got king jack of clubs in the cutoff. Might he raise here? Let's see. Likes to play an aggressive in late position. And he is going to raise it up. He's going to make it, looks like 280. He's raising 200. Patrick's got a trouble hand here from up front. He's got queen 9, but he makes the quick call. And Mike is in there as well. So we've got about a $900 pot here going 3 ways. Barry, the pre-flop raiser, and he hits the king, but look at Mike. He's got a flush draw. Let's see how this one's going to play out. It gets checked to Barry. He's hit the top pair. And Mike has the flush draw.
Barry
here.
needs to bet really hard here. 500. That's a good bet.
He's going to bet 530 into about a $900 pot, and Mike
like
is going to
that.
make a quick call here. And this pot is quickly $1,900. Here we go to the turn. Well, the turn's an 8. No help from Mike. Mike checks. Let's see. Looks like Barry's going to bet here again.
I want to see a bet of at least 1,000 into this pot right now.
He's going to bet 900. He bets a half pot size bet. I don't know if Mike can call, though. It doesn't look like he's got enough chips, even with 1 card to go here, George.
But with the history, it could be just because it's Barry.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
this could be.
Yeah. It's a $900 bet here.
Yeah.
And Mike is going to make the call,
Wow.
and this pot is quickly $3,700. Mike has got a dry flush draw. He needs a heart here, and a heart only. $3,700 pot to the river, and the river's a queen. Mike checks, and Barry's probably going to check right behind him. He does. Barry's going to take it down there with the king jack. Patrick has moved over here to seat 2. As always, we like to keep this show interactive. You can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, always appreciated. Follow a live thread started on the internet. Go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on forums. Televised poker. And get your hands in for the video blog for tomorrow. I only had a couple of submissions. You can email us in the subject line, hand for blog, and I will read them and submit them in for the video blog. Dave Tuckman, I spoke with him. He was out in the first level yesterday of the 1500 no limit.
Really?
First level. He's already back in L.A. Took a flight home. He said, you know, a tournament. He's a little bit disenchanted by Harris. He says, I either got to get over my thing against Harris or not play in these tournaments. That's what he told me on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think he thinks that Harris takes advantage of the players, you know, kind of hoards them in, doesn't take really good care of them, and, of course, doesn't put anything more in the prize pool for the players.
I see.
He said he had a nice cash game session at the Bellagio, and I'll get into that in a second. But he said that 10-20 games really weren't that good around the Rio and in the Bellagio.
And by not good, he means just a tight game? Okay.
Tight game. Now, we have a raise here. Barry's going to raise it up. He made a little mini raise here with a little gap-suited connector. That's Allen's in here with a weak ace, and Patrick's in there with 6-8, so it's about a $250 pot. Well, Barry's hit middle pair here, and his hand is good. No one really has anything. Allen's got bottom pair. And Patrick's going to bet 150 here. He's got a... Well, he doesn't even have a draw right now.
He has absolutely nothing.
See what Barry's going to do. It's a $150 bet into a pot that's about $250, so it's a $400 pot now. I've seen Barry make... Look at that. I think that's probably going to get it done unless Allen's going to get stubborn here and call with bottom pair. And he makes the call. Patrick's got overcards to that 3, and you wonder if he keeps firing. Is Allen just looking to hit 2 pair or trips here? Well, the turn's a 10. Patrick still has nothing.
And if I know Patrick, he's going to fire again right here.
Well, it goes check, check here on the turn.
Check.
Yeah, here we go to the river. And the river's a 3. Uh-oh. And Patrick's going to bet here. He bets 300, and Allen's made trip 3s with the ace kicker. Wouldn't be surprised if Allen pushes here. I mean, the only thing that you are behind here against Patrick is obviously a set of kings, 5-3, a set of 10s. Allen's going to raise it up. Patrick quickly folds. Chalk one up there for that's Allen. Takes the hand down.
Can't get Allen off a hand with dynamite. It just amazes me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's someone up front betting a king, and you got a 3 with an ace. I mean,
You saw
what
Barry,
if you hit your ace? Maybe it's no good.
You saw Barry muck the 5.
Yeah, I
in
mean, I
between.
like that muck. I mean, keep the hand simple. You don't want to get involved.
I got to tell you, with players like Seat 2, Seat 4, Mike in there, I think you can play this game pretty straightforward, not necessarily making a lot of moves. Mike is a good player, but he definitely does have a tendency to steam, George, and I think he's steaming right now.
I'm sure, but he also has a tendency to play the same way when he has a bad hand as he does when he has a good hand. So it works. The knife cuts both ways with Mike. He should get paid off in one of these hands.
Well, Mike has got ace-6 offsuit in the straddle spot in seat 5. We need to see Alan's cards. Patrick's got ace-queen in the small blind.
Raising.
And Patrick's going to raise it up. So Alan limped in the cutoff.
380 total.
And Patrick's going to make it 380 to go. Alan's in there with a weak ace as well, ace-5 of hearts. So 3 of the aces are dead here. Patrick's got the best kicker. 300 more here, and Mike's got ace-6 offsuit. He's thinking about calling. He's in the straddle spot. I'm getting word that Ed is in the house. It's a $300 raise here by Patrick and out of the small blind. And Mike is trying to figure out if he's going to play here with the ace. I mean, is he thinking about re-raising here, George?
I think so. I know Mike likes to play these weak aces. If he puts you on a good ace, he plays a weak ace to hit aces up, but looks like this time he's just going to lay it down and move on.
I'm going to tell you, if he pushes there, I think Patrick makes an insta-call with ace-queen.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
You didn't call behind me, Alan.
Now, Alan is in there with ace-5 of hearts. It's 300. 300 more. He likes to play these ace-rag suited cards.
Alan likes to play any two cards.
Not going to get involved. And Patrick takes it down there with the ace-queen. Here live at the bike again. I'm Bart Hanson. I'm here with George Georgian, the Greek poker god, playing 2040 No Limit Hold'em. George Giorgio? Really?
Yes, my friend.
Why didn't anybody ever tell us that before?
We've told you many times, but if you're not listening, you're not listening.
George Giorgio. Wow. Been mispronouncing your last name for about a year and a half now.
That's great.
Mike's in the big blind here in seat number 5. I always think that's an interesting combination, the English-Greek. The Englishman from Greece, the Greek from England, whatever you want to call it. Mike is straddled here. Alan limps in here with king-queen. Trish limps in with jack-8 of clubs. And Patrick's going to raise it up here with deuce-4 suited. Makes it 190 to go. And Zhang there is going to make the call with ace-10 of clubs. Remember, I haven't seen much of Zhang, but players said that he is an action player. And Alan's going to make that call with that trouble king-queen. Might this bring Trish in with a little gap-suited connector? She makes the call, and her clubs are dominated here. And this is quickly an $800 pot. Patrick, the pre-flop raiser, on the button with deuce-4 spades. And here we go to the flop. Well, king 5-4 here, and Alan's got top pair. How is he going to play it? Might he lead right into the raiser? Looks like that's what he's going to do.
Betting 300.
Bet's 300. I don't mind the bet here, George, at all.
I don't mind a bet. Actually, it surprised me. Alan likes to slow play a lot of these hands, even on a troubled board like this. But
and a quick call here by Patrick. He just has bottom pair here. No real backdoor draw. He's going to need to improve and hit a 4 or a deuce here. And this pot is quickly $1,400. Here we go to the turn. Well, the turn's a queen, and now Patrick is drawing to hitting trip 4s. Alan's got 2
Alan's
pair.
just going to move all in. Patrick is a little bit short stack.
Betting 800.
Alan's going to bet 800 here. Patrick's got 2 outs to the win if he
does that
makes
put
this
Patrick
call.
all in anyways?
Probably. Looks
Yeah.
like it, yeah. Patrick had a little good run. He was sitting in my 5-10 game earlier this afternoon. Well, Patrick, he does like to gamble. You know, we talk about Patrick's a little bit similar to Pakistani Jay. These guys actually do know how to play. They
Absolutely.
might know that this is the wrong call, but they're here to gamble.
No, I've played with Patrick on the cash games and on tournament games. I can tell you he's a much better tournament player.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he plays a lot looser in cash games than he does in a tournament game.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick is trying to feel out here how many he's got. And he's going to make the call, and he needs to hit a 4 here. He's got 2 outs. This pot is going to be close to $3,000. He needs a 4 and only a 4. Here we go to the river. And the river's a 6, and that's not going to be good. Alan's got 2 pair. King's up. And Patrick goes bust. And Alan, quickly with a couple of big pots here. Starting off the game.
Wow.
I'm sure Mike is going to like that. He really likes to pick on
Oh,
Alan, obviously.
you can take a close-up of Mike right now. He's salivating.
Yep.
Oh, maybe he's theming first.
Mike is going to turn that chair around. As you can see in the background there, we're doing a little carpet
Kind of
work
like
at
the movie
Mike.
from Over the Top,
Ah.
where Sylvester Stallone just turns the cap around.
Yeah.
Mike is getting ready to play now. Here we go.
Bud moves here to seat 4.
How much you playing behind, sir?
Patrick is going to rebuy here. As always, you can rebuy in a cash game. And there is Ed.
Oh boy, here we have. We got the trifecta now. Mike, Keith, Patrick, and Ed. It's complete.
Fresh off of a $20,000 win last week, George. Big win for him last week.
It's complete. Good,
Yeah.
good for him.
Nice to see him win a
Nice
chunk
to
of
see him.
change.
Yep.
Yeah.
See if he continues tonight.
Chip on 0.
Patrick looks like he is going to limp in here with a king 10. Haven't got word of how much he's got behind.
Patrick's got
Actually,
8-10.
yeah, he's got 8-10 of hearts. Mike's got king 10. And this one just gets limped around, checked around on the blinds. Flop comes queen 6-6 here. Everybody's missed. It's going to get checked around. It's a $120 pot, 3 ways. Turns a 9. Mike is still good here with king high. He's picked up a gut shot to the jack. Is Kenny Wynn's going to take a little shot at it here, George? Well, you know, Kenny's real tight. Some people say, oh, he plays a little weak tight. I don't agree with that at all. And Mike is going to make the call. So this pot is $360 going to the river, and Kenny might need to bluff at it here at the end. The river's an ace.
Not a card that Kenny can really.
Mike checks.
Oh, and this should do it. Wow.
Well,
Good
Kenny's going to need to bet at it here.
Good instincts by Kenny.
He bets 220, and Mike gets away from it. You know, we always talk about in this show, George, with an ace on the river, I'm not saying Mike, I mean, Mike's not going to probably get involved in calling Kenny with king 10. But what really would Kenny bet on the river with that ace come? Unless he had a 6.
Unless he had a
A
6.
full house. He probably would check a queen
Well, he's
down.
representing a 6.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small blind, big blind hand. A 6 is one of the.
The more and more I play this game, the more and more you really can tell about a player's hand by what they do on the river. If you replay the hand backwards and they bet on the river on a card that you wouldn't necessarily think would be comfortable with them coming, like an ace. And in that case, he was on Stone Cold Bluff. I mean, might he have missed clubs, something like that.
I mean, but you could easily put Kenny on a 6 there. I
He
mean,
might have played a
yeah,
6 that
might
way.
play a 6.
I thought it was against Kuksik.
And Ed is 5,000 behind here in seat 3.
Really?
I'm getting beat up, but
So Barry's in the game, Mike's in the game. We have Ed and we have Patrick.
Ed's going to check here, ace 4. Mike limps in on the button. And this is going to get limped around 4 ways. It's a $160 pot. Well, there's the ace. And is Ed going to get stacked by Barry here?
Wow,
George?
and there's some history here too.
Yeah.
But
Barry's flop trip jacks.
oh, I love the bet.
He bets right away. Let's see what Ed does.
Okay, I call.
Ed is going to call.
This could get interesting.
$200 bet and a quick call here by Ed. The pot is over $500. Barry really needs to continue to bet. How about a nice $400 bet here on the turn?
Try
Maybe
and
even
build,
more than
build
that.
Build yourself a pot.
Turns an 8.
Oh, no, there is.
I really like a bet here by Barry. Get himself to build the pot with a big hand.
betting 400.
That's 400. I love it, George. I love it.
Cool.
And did Ed call here? Ed made the call, and this pot is over $1,000, and the river's a queen.
Too many.
And Barry probably can bet another 800 here or
At
so on the
least,
river.
I would say.
The pot is about 1,100 here. Barry really needs to bet 800 or 900.
Eight on.
Betting 400.
Oh, Barry really letting him off the hook.
I think he left some money, but
Yeah, I love the way that Barry played that hand until that weakish bet here is really leaving a lot of money on the table here. I mean, I think he specifically put Ed on a weak ace.
Trip jacks.
Barry's going to take it down there with the trip jacks. I mean, he bet 200 on the flop. He got a call. He bet 400 on the turn. He got a call. Pot was 1,300, and then he just bet 400 at the end. And I mean,
You lousy. You're either a lousy.
and Barry's saying that he misread his hand.
Which one is it?
Oh wow! He said he misread his hand. He thought he had 2 pair. That is unbelievable. It didn't really make a lot of sense. You would think Barry's a good enough player where he's definitely going to recognize
So
that.
we're sitting here giving Barry all the credit in the world. He didn't even know what he had.
I mean, it was a peculiar bet at the end if you put Ed
It
on
was,
ace.
and in these higher stakes, that to me usually means a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
If someone's kind of telling me I want to call,
Yeah.
that's a very troublesome bet.
But again, though, I mean, against a player like Ed, who, he's here to
Yeah,
have a good
yeah.
time, calls down a lot of hands. If Barry knew he had trip jacks, I think he might even have been able to bet 1,000.
Yeah, I agree.
You never know. He might have moved in. How about an overbet all in for the rest of Ed's stack for 4,000?
No, I don't think so. If Barry knew he had trip jacks, I'm sure the bet would have been more than the 400 at the end there.
Well, Ed only had obviously a weak ace.
3 player.
Limped around here 3 ways. It's a $120 pot. Ace 3-5 here. Well, Allen's got he's got a gut shot to the nuts to the 4. Mike's got a pair with a straight draw. He bets 80. Now Barry's got the same gut shot. But King Deuce here, I can't imagine Barry's going to call with 2 hearts out there. His hand is real garbage.
5, 4.
I think Barry's going to get away from this one.
That's not second pair, that's third pair.
He's out of there. And wow, if Allen hits a 4 here, he is going to stack Mike. He needs a 4 to come. He'll have the nut straight. Mike will have a wheel. Well, the turn's a 10. Allen checks, and Mike checks right behind him. And here we go to the river. Oh, the river's a 7, and Allen makes a pair at the end. And he's going to bet 150. I got to tell you, there's nothing Mike can beat. I would be really surprised if he calls here. I mean, you almost got to put Allen on a flush draw, even though he didn't have it.
Right.
And he easily folds.
I believe you, man. A lot of stuff got there.
And that really would have gotten
Yeah,
him.
Mike says there's a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah.
There's not much you can beat at all. Straight got there, the flush got there.
Yeah. And you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Send in those hand for blog video blogs. Of course, we've got our Live at the Bike guest commentator promotion going on. This could be you. It's your chance to co-host at Live at the Bike with me, Bart Hansen. A dream come true. And there's more. You'll
Really?
also win a seat into the $300 to $500 game. You win a $500 buy-in. You'll also get a 6-month subscription extension. And, of course, you come in with me, July 20th, Thursday. If you are an archive subscriber, you are automatically enrolled. It's a random drawing that will be held July 11th.
What kind of car you drive?
If you are not an archive subscriber, you have until July 11th to subscribe. Click on the on-demand banner, upper left-hand corner of the screen. $14.95 gets you access to all of the past shows. You can see George Georgian when he was donking it up in the 200 game over a year ago. Giorgio, sorry. You'll have to keep slapping me.
I really dunked it up yesterday. I was just out there to have some fun. I just basically gave the audience an idea of what not to do
Oh, really?
in a
Is that-
poker game.
is that what
Yeah,
your
I mean, there was
intention
some couple of hands that
That's 40. No, he bought the button. Oh, he bought the button.
Couple of ace queens here.
This is as much as I can get with 200.
And Ed is going to bring it in for a $200 raise with 9-3 of hearts. Mike calls with a little suited connector, and Amir and Barry are going to call with ace queen. I got to tell you, if Ed makes a continuation bet here, the board might miss everybody. Well, king 4-3. Ed's got bottom pair. Mike's got middle pair. Not a good flop for the ace queens. Ed's going to bet 300 here. And Mike's going to raise. He's going to make it 700. And the pot, and Ed quick, and let's see here. Ed is going to quickly call. Here we go to the turn, and the turn's at 10. Mike is still good right now. Pot is about 2,000.
Yes.
Ed has just bottom pair. Now, is Mike going to continue putting money in here? And now Ed bets 1,000.
Wow.
He throws a great chip out here. And what can Mike beat here, George?
we can beat a 3-9 is about all he can beat.
Wow, what a bet here by Ed. Mike gets away from it. I'd love for Ed to show this bluff. Shows the 3, and he shows the 9-3.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Nice hand there for Ed.
He said, show me a bluff. I showed him a bluff.
You did. On demand.
Kenny Wynn, mouth dropped.
And this is real poker here tonight.
Yeah. Mir, we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Nice to see him back on the show. Button moves over here to Amir.
240.
And Ed's going to raise it up here to 240 with the speed limit, a couple of 5s. Now, is Amir going to call him with ace-8 suited here on the button? He does. I mean, even if you're up against a guy like Ed here, is ace-8 suited really a hand that you're going to call a raise with?
I don't think so. I mean, Ed just bluffed the hand just
And
now.
look at this. Patrick's moving all in. He's going to move all in the blind. And he's got the best hand here by far. He's got 7s. He's coming back over the top, out of the big blind. And let's see how much more it is.
720?
720.
Ed's going to call
And
it.
Ed makes a quick call here.
And this might even bring Amir in.
This is a $2,000 pot. 720 for Amir to call. He's got overcards. He's not going to get involved. And Patrick's in really good shape here. It's about a $2,000 board run. Patrick's about a 4-1 favorite. And here we go. We're going to see all 5 cards. Well, Queen, Jack, 8.
And
Patrick,
Amir would have hit his 8s. He would have been good right here.
Patrick well out in front. Turns a 9. And the river's a queen. And Patrick's going to win it with 7s.
No, sir. Just one queen. Oh, yeah, you got it.
Ed shows the 5s. Patrick makes a nice double through there. Butt moves over here to Allen in seat 9. Georgie getting all revved up for Friday. Beginning of the quarterfinals, World Cup. Then, of course, Saturday England plays, right?
Saturday England
Yeah.
plays. I'm ripped up. I'm going online, looking at what all the players are saying. I gotta tell you, I'm not too confident about this game on Saturday, but
Really? Even against Portugal, huh?
well, Portugal are playing very good.
Yeah.
They don't have some of their key players, but we'll see.
Folded around to Barry Woods. He folds the ace-3 in late position.
Good thing the game's on Saturday. It gives me Sunday all day to cry. In case I come to work on Monday again.
Limped around here and in the blinds. We need to see Patrick's cards. Trish got ace-10 of hearts here. Wow, look at this. Patrick check pocket queens, and he's hit middle set here. Did not raise it. Out of the big blind, but it doesn't look like anybody has anything. King, queen, 4 here on the flop. Hey, look at this. He checks it to Amir, and Amir's going to make a little bluff bet at it. Let's see what Patrick's going to do. He's got middle set here. He's going to immediately check raise. And I got to tell you, if Amir had a king here, I think he would definitely stay in. Unfortunately for Patrick, Amir has nothing.
Right, and I mean that's a pretty draw-heavy board. I don't know if you should always bet out your hand right there.
Well, I don't know if he even looked at his hand.
Oh,
He was
really?
chopping, he was,
Okay.
sometimes Patrick just plays his hand blind. And then when he saw, he flopped a really big hand, he decided to go for the check raise.
It normally helps though if you take a look at your cards before you.
Yeah, usually. I'd say so. Button moves over here to Trish in seat 1. We get a collection pot. So the winner of this pot will pay the collection, which I think is $11 per
Seat
player.
4 for being such a action player. I've not seen that. He's played one hand.
Yeah, he's
so
only
far.
played ace-10 of clubs so far. Barry Woods is going to raise Ed's blind here. He's got king-jack suited once again. He's going to make it 180. Now, Ed's got a trouble queen deuce of hearts. Wouldn't be surprised if he makes the call, though. And he does. He's got live cards here.
Barry and Ed, here we go again.
And here we go. It's about a $400 pot. Barry, the pre-flop raiser. And
Oh,
look at
wow.
Ed. He's flop trip queens.
All right.
Queen, queen, 4 here. Ed checks. Barry's usually pretty good about continuation betting here. Heads up. He bets 400. Let's see what Ed's going to do. Is he going to play it slow? Funny thing about Ed is for him, it might be proper to play slow because you don't know what he has when he calls.
Yeah. I don't mind this at all.
But he's actually going to check mini
But
raise
also that board is not. I mean, there's no draws out there whatsoever. So
here. Yeah. He makes the min check raise here. He makes it 400 more. Barry bet 400. Ed makes it 800 total. The pot is $1,500, $400 for Barry to call. I don't know what Barry's thinking about here. Why get involved in this spot? I mean, is Ed the type of player that you want to try to outplay?
No, you can't outplay Ed.
Yeah.
If you've got the hand, bet it. If he's got a hand, also he's going to pay you off. If you don't, just
get rid of it. Wait for another spot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks like Barry's going to release
He's
this
going to take one more look at his hand and should let it go.
Now, the real question is, if Barry had something like pocket jacks there, and Ed made the check mini raise. And look at that. King came on the turn, so Barry would have picked up top pair. And I'm never a big proponent of slow playing, but if you're Ed and you do a lot of check calling anyways,
yeah,
you might check call there.
Yep.
And then the turn comes out a king. And, you know, I don't know how you could play. You could actually lead out to Barry, or you could check raise him there on the turn.
Right.
I'm not usually a big proponent of that, but if you've got a style of play like Ed, where, you know, you might.
And also that board had no it had no flushes, no straights.
Button moves over here to seat 3 to Ed.
I need a floor mat.
Mike's got the big blinds here. Barry Woods is going to raise it up. He makes it 180 to go.
180, Ed.
He's got 7-5 of diamonds here. And C4 is going to make a loose call here with ace-9 out of the small blind. Ace-9 offsuit here, George.
And maybe he wants. I'm not sure why you would.
And that's going to bring Mike in here with ace-6. Now, if the ace comes, chances are the ace-9 is not necessarily going to play. And here we go to the flop. 6-5 deuce here, and Barry's picked up the best hand here with. Actually, Mike's got the best hand here with ace-6. And he's going to throw a little bet out, and I don't think Barry's going anywhere. He makes a quick, immediate call. And his pot is $1,350 here. Here we go again, Mike against Barry. $1,350 to the turn. With a turn's a 3. Both players pick up straight draws. A 4 would give Barry a higher straight. It's a $400 bet here by Mike. He still has the best hand here with ace-6.
And do you think the fact that Barry called right away, that you should put him on like a draw or some kind of
I don't have 3-5.
weaker hand, or
You can rule that.
Well, it's interesting. You know, it's an interesting question for a physical tell. Now, if Mike picks up actually a 4, he would have a wheel, but there would be a straight on board. But
Right.
Barry would have a higher straight, and there would be a straight on board. So Barry could really value bet Mike. I don't know if Mike would get away from the board straight playing there.
right?
Tough to put Barry on a 7 here in this hand. It's a $400 bet here by Mike. It's about a $1,900 pot. $400 for Barry to call.
You have a lot of shit. Ain't worth it.
And Barry gets out of there.
There'll be another time.
And Mike shows him the 6. The river would have been the 10 of clubs.
Ace-6 of hearts.
And Mike tells the truth about his hand. Ace-6 of hearts.
Peter.
Big blind over here to Kenny Wynn. What do you think about Kenny Wynn's play, George?
I mean, he's a tight player. He occasionally, because of that image he has, he can bluff at a pot here and there. So pretty solid. I would not go into a hand with Kenny without something.
Open limp here by Barry Woods with just ace with the ace queen here. Amir limps. And this is going to be limped around here.
6 players.
6-way action, limped around. Wow, look at this ace 4-10 here. And Ed's got an ace and Barry's got him out kicked. Now Barry's got to realize this is a limped pot. And look at this, Mike is going to bet 220 here. Now I know Barry might like to raise here with the ace queen, but boy, you got to be awful careful in a limped pot. How big of a pot do you really want to build here with ace queen when there was no raise pre-flop? He just makes the call. And let's see what Ed's going to do. And Ed is going to raise it up here with ace 7.
620.
He makes it 400 more. $220 bet here by Mike, a call by Barry, and Ed makes it 400 more.
And if you're Barry right here, You have to raise, right?
I don't
Figure
know.
out where you're at.
Well,
or-
I don't, again, I don't know if there's going to be fold equity if you raise. Obviously, you would get Ed to
Well,
call with an ace.
it's Ed, and
I
so you're
know.
not going to be able to put Ed on any hand.
I think that you could re-raise. And look at this, Mike calls.
I'm not
Mike
too
doesn't even fold, so that's going to change things
Yeah,
a
that
little
would
bit.
change things a lot.
I thought Mike was easily going to get out of there. He only has deuce 10. It's 400 more here for Barry. And he is going to raise
I
two
think
players.
this is a good idea because the whole concept of keeping the pot small is just going out the
Gone
window
out the
now.
window with Mike
so
and
you
Ed
might
in
as well just
Yeah. He's going to make it 2,000 more.
2,000 more. Great raise.
2,000 more, and that
And-
makes the pot 4,000. 2,000 for Ed to call. I like the play if you think Ed is going to call with any ace. Now the question
Right.
is he going to call with any ace? 2,000 more, $4,000 pot,
Well,
2,000
Ed just
to
may
call.
push all in here.
And look at this, Ed makes the call.
Just the call. Wow.
That's going to break Mike out of the hand. And this is a $6,000 pot that was linked around on the flop. The turn's a 10. Barry's still good here. Mike would have made trip 10, George.
And Mikey, look at Mike.
Yeah.
Wow. That was his chance. And he knows there are aces out there, and if he hits the 10, it's good.
Well, 2,000 something.
All right. The
Wow.
money's
And that's a great card for Barry because a
Sure.
7 isn't going to do anything here.
sure.
Barry is on a total free roll. He bets 2,000. That's pretty much going to put Ed all in.
It's only a chop pot if a 10 or ace hat.
It is now a $10,000 pot if Ed makes this call, and he is going to make the call.
Wow.
Wow, $10,000 pot here right off the bat. Actually, it's more than that. It's $14,000.
At $30, you want?
And Ed only needs a king here to chop it up. And here we go to the river, and the river is a 5.
$30 or you want me to let you keep 30?
And Barry's saying Ed's got $30 left, and Barry's going to bet $30.
Pocket tens. Yeah.
And Ed makes the call, and Barry's going to take down a $14,000 pot with ace queen, one pair on a limped board pre-flop. Unbelievable, George. Wow.
Wow. I really love the re-raise there on the flop, though, by Barry. Love that. And if he didn't do that, look what would have happened. 10 deuce scoops it.
Well, well, the funny thing, though, too, is, George, is that actually Mike bet out on the flop. Barry just called. If Ed hadn't raised initially,
Right.
Mike would have made trip 10s.
Absolutely.
And I think Mike would have
Absolutely.
won a big pot from Barry because, again, we talked about it was a limped pot, but I don't know if Barry's going anywhere with ace queen against Mike,
Right.
even if it is a limped pot. Unbelievable. $14,000 pot there.
Difference between being broken.
And that's what Mike's talking about. Mike's saying he would have broken Barry.
So Ed cost Mike a lot of money right there.
Yep, Mike's talking about how Barry would have lost his whole stack there, and I believe it too.
Oh, yeah.
I think Barry would have doubled Mike through. Ed's got ace king here. He raises it up, and he's going to take it down. If Ed hadn't raised, Ed really saved Barry. Really did. Ed is down a quick $5,000.
And is Ed going to rebuy here?
Yes, I believe so. He's going to rebuy for $5,000. Allen's got the big blind in seat number 9.
The way he was betting, but
Buttons over and Kenny wins.
I
And
saw that he's the same
I had
wimpy
quads
ass
that you
as he
called
was.
with A7.
pocket aces here for Patrick in seat number 2. And Mike's got a weak ace. I think he's going to come in. Patrick makes it 80 to go here. Pocket rockets, 2 black aces. And Mike's got ace-6 here. He's going to make the call.
Oh, that's sick.
With a case ace here would be really bad for Mike.
Playing like a-
The hand is probably not going to hit him. We know that one of the 6 is also
Right.
dead.
Right.
Here we go to the flop. 8-7-3 with a couple of diamonds. You wonder if Mike might make a move here on Patrick for some reason. $200 bet.
You bluffed me and it cost me mucho dinero.
I didn't bluff you. I had the ace. And the ace had come on the flop.
Mike is not going to get involved with this.
Yeah, the hand you bluffed him on the pot, that pot with the 3.
Mike's still bitching about the hand that Ed bluffed him with the 9-3 of hearts. Yeah, Dave Tuckman more on that issue. Supposedly he wrote another update under the gun with Tuckman, and it is up if you click on the left-hand side of your screen. Click on Under the Gun. And Dave has written some more about his Vegas experience. He busted real early in the 1500 no limit. First level, as a matter of fact.
First level,
Well,
wow.
that tournament-
Where did he commit his chips in?
Well, that tournament really is not that deep of a deep stack tournament. We
Right.
only start with 2,000. We'll get to it in a second here. 5-way action here, limped around. Queen 9-10 rainbow on the flop.
Looks like Allen has the best hand with pocket 7.
Checked around here. Turns another 9.
First
And
to,
Allen's
first
going
to
to come out and bet here with 7s. A gutsy bet.
120.
$120 bet.
You don't have that kind of balls.
And, you know, it was a funny hand, George, you know, the hand against Ed that Barry just played with the ace-queen, because against, you know, competition that will not go broke with a weak ace, I think you really need to play that hand cautiously. You don't want to drive forward if you've limped in with ace-queen and the flop has come ace-4, 10, 2 spades. But if there's value in the fact that if you re-push, you'll get called by a weaker ace, then why not do it? And Barry played it masterfully,
Right,
got all
right.
the money in. You know, at this stage in Mike's poker career, I know last year on a limped pot, he probably would go broke with the ace-7 if Barry re-pushes there. Now, I think Mike's a little too good there to go broke in a limped pot with just an ace.
I mean, Mike there, I mean, you've got to give him credit. He knew that he was behind with that
Yeah.
10, no doubt. I mean, if someone even had the 10, he had him out kicked,
Yeah.
number one. But he knew if he hit that he would get paid.
He looked at the other two players in the hand. Barry's going to always pay Mike off, and Ed has a
Absolutely.
tendency to pay people off
Absolutely,
as well.
and he's looking at stack size, he's looking at all of that. So,
Yeah.
Good job, Peter.
in hindsight, you know, everyone out there thinks that the 10 deuce call is a bad call, but he's not looking at spending 400. He'll let that hand go on its own. But if he hits,
Yeah.
which he did, but he wasn't in the hand at the time. Yeah,
You know, Patrick
he
is
double up.
Patrick has raised it up here. I think just 100 more. Yeah, 100 more out in the blind.
4 players.
So it's a 4-way action here. It's about a $500 pot. And Patrick's hit the ace. I don't know how comfortable you can be there with that board. And he raised it with ace-3. He's got the best hand. But look at Trish. Trish is going to come out and bet with king-6. She bets 250. Patrick makes a quick call. Ed's got a gut shot to the jack. There's 2 spades out
See,
there.
Trish is trying to play on her image here, but I don't think this is the kind of table that they just don't care.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't, you know, I like the idea by Trish, but she's got to,
Right.
you know. And look at this. We got an overcall here by Ed.
Oh, Ed is steaming.
And
That's
this
it.
pot is $1,500. The turn's a 9. Patrick is still in the lead. Ed picks up an 8-high flush draw.
Let's see if Ed can lead out and represent here.
It's a $1,500 pot. Trish shuts down now, and
Oh,
it's checked
Ed-
around.
Ed missed a big opportunity
And the
right there.
river is a 4, and Patrick's hand's good.
And Patrick might know this right here and value bet this hand.
It's about a $1,500 pot, and he's going to make a little tiny value bet, and he's going to get paid off by the king.
There you
What
go.
a nice little $300 value bet there by Patrick, and he takes down over a $2,000 pot.
Come down and give me some money.
I agree with you. You know, Trish at a tighter table, she bets that flop, ace, king, 10, and say I even have ace, queen that's off suit there. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with 2 players next after me to act.
Ace Queen, I think you can continue on because the ace and the king are out there. You've got the next best hand. But ace 3, I'm done with that
Oh,
hand.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but against this table, there might not be a whole lot of
Yeah,
value. I mean,
there's-
Patrick
yeah,
and
right.
Ed are going to call there in a heartbeat, and they did.
In fact, on this table, they're more likely to call you because they know they'll probably be able to put a play on you later
Yeah.
and lay it down. Or they know you're in there with a monster, and so they're trying to hit a bigger hand.
And look at this.
and
Mike's
crack
got pocket aces here.
you. Oh, and Ed's got pocket 10s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this could be. I mean, if this is a low flop,
Ed might re-raise here, actually. He might re-raise. Mike has brought it in for a raise.
I'll make it 350.
then
Well,
Patrick
we
just
got
raised.
yeah. It was just a Mike raised, called by Patrick. Ed re-raises, and Mike is just going to smooth call. It's a $300 re-raise.
I mean, I think with aces, you got to get it down to heads up.
And Patrick's coming in as well, and this is going to be a $1,000 pot. Mike raised, Ed re-raised, Mike just smooth called, and that brought in Patrick from the blind.
Okay.
Well, I think that when Ed re-raises, he represents a strong hand. You might be able to just re-raise aces for value here. It's a
That's what I thought.
$1,000 pot. Here we go. Wow, look at this.
Oh.
All hearts, and Mike has the ace of hearts. He's in command of this hand.
That's not a great flop for Mike, but
Really? Aces with the ace of hearts?
but it's there's a straight out there, and what if your ace doesn't hit? Then what? And you know Ed's in there with a good hand.
500.
Ed's going to bet 500 here, and Mike is going to make it 1,000. And the problem here for Ed is he's got the 10 of hearts, and he's in big trouble.
Right.
He makes the call. The pot is 3,000 here to the turn, and the
Oh.
turn's the king of hearts.
My heart good?
And
And now Ed's got some outs.
Ed's got the redraw to the 9 of hearts. And Ed is going to bet 1,500. He's got the second nut flush here.
And Mike is gonna.
He bets 1,500. It's a $4,500 pot. And let's see what Mike does here. 1,500 for him to call. Mike's got about, I want to say,
and
6,000
look at
behind.
Mike Hollywooding this up.
This would be
he's disgusted. Look at this. He can't believe
Ultimate
it.
beat here if the 9 of hearts comes, George. The ultimate live at the bike beat if the 9 of hearts comes.
Oh, he's gonna flip the table.
He just did he just call?
Yeah.
He made the call. Oh, the river's a red 9, but it's the 9 of diamonds. And Ed's got, again, he's got the second nut flush here.
It's also made a straight here. I think the money's going in.
Wow. The pot is $8,000 right now.
1,500.
And Ed's going to bet 1,500 with the second nut flush. There's that $5,000 chip. $9,500 pot. I assume that Mike is going to push here. 9,500 already. And Mike here.
There's only one hand that beats Mike right now. Mike knows he's good. He's trying to get the rest of his chips.
Only thing that beats Mike here is 9, 10 of hearts. It's a $9,500 pot right now.
1720.
And Mike here is going to raise it up. Did he raise it?
He's gonna put him all in. He said.
He moved all in, and Ed called.
That 9 is not a heart?
Wow. Mike moved all in.
Yeah, Ed's pretending he thought the 9 was a heart.
Well, if I can get word from the table here, Mike apparently moved Ed all in. We're going to see how much Ed had behind. Ed at 1,500 on the river. Mike, I believe, pushed
I
Ed
that's
all
the pot.
in.
I said I have
And how much did Ed have left? That's the question.
Wow.
I mean, we're getting word that he only had 200, but he had a rack and he had a $5,000 chip in front of him.
Nice.
This time? Rack it up for you.
Well, if Ed only had a couple hundred there, the pot was about 12,000. I hope someone out there on the table can tell me how much Ed had left when Mike pushed him in.
I think after he called the 1,500, he
Yeah.
only had about 200 or
200
so
left.
left.
Okay.
It-
So about
it's
a
just an easy
$12,000
number for
pot.
Ed to say 1,500,
Okay.
1,500. I
Okay.
mean,
I just thought that, Ed had bought in for like 10,000
Wow.
and they'd given him change.
that
but-
could be one of the fastest $10,000.
Yeah. And he's going to rebuy for 5,000.
Poor
So-
Ed.
Yeah, so he rebought 5,000 the second time, so that's obviously all that he lost. And what a beat that would have been with the 9 of hearts there, if that was the 9.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a beer bottle would have come through this wall.
No, it just means I'm riding a
Spot is limped around here, 6-4-3 on the
Oh,
flop.
mine's 5,000.
And Mike is giving 5,000 to Ed there. And Zhang there is going to bet out here. He's got a gut shot to the nuts, to the 5. And Patrick, look at this. He's got top pair with the straight draw. If he calls and a 5 comes, I think Patrick's going to get stacked here.
Absolutely.
Give me a check, so I gotta buy in 5.
And Patrick makes the call. And the turn is a 10. Zhang still doesn't have anything. He's now picked up a double-gutted straight draw. He's double-gutted to the 9 or the 5. He bets 500, and Patrick quickly calls.
Yeah, if a 5 comes
Pot
off,
is $1,600, and the river's a deuce, and Patrick is good here with the 7. It's a one-liner to a straight. If Zhang was betting a 5 open-ended straight draw, he would be good. $500 bet, and Patrick makes a quick call, and he's going to take down over a $2,500 pot. That's 8 high there for Zhang. Patrick's going to win it with the 6. Unbelievable action here in the first hour of the show. Wow.
And like we mentioned before, there's
I know, when you said I never had this hand in my life.
there's almost no value in trying to bluff at this table.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thought ace jack was hard.
When you said I've never had this
I
hand in
mean,
my
there are
life,
4 people at this table
Yeah.
that will call you pretty much with anything.
Yeah. And Eddie's saying that he really thought that was the 9 of hearts at the end.
No, I don't believe that.
Really? I think he might have misread it.
No, no.
Oh, wow. You would love that one, huh?
Oh, yeah, that was a real nice. Is this table like that?
How did that I was in the middle of saying,
I mean, he's got second nut. He thinks he's good anyways. Hell, we thought his ace-7 was good against
Yeah,
Barry. So
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my God.
So again, it was only it was about a $13,000 pot. Oh man, what a river that would have been. That would have really been fun for the show.
you got to really feel for Ed. He's such a nice guy. He comes and within 20 minutes is now down $10,000. I mean,
Yeah.
I might have busted a vein or something. I'd had a seizure.
This one's linked around
Mike
here.
said he would have had a seizure at the 9 of
Yeah.
and I believe that too.
King, Jack, Jack here, and Zhang has got trip jacks.
10 grand in 2 minutes?
Zhang is going to check it.
Yes, I do, actually.
I'd wait for the 20
Kenny checks.
I don't know. Bet your hand, John. I don't know. You just got called bluffing. Bet your hand right here. You might get paid. Who knows? Someone might have a king out there.
Well, the turn's at 10. Zhang now has trips with a flush draw. And now he's going to bet. I don't think anybody can call
No, the
here.
only person who can call is someone who's got a.
That's 800.
And he's going to really over bet the pot. He bets 800 on the turn here.
You want to call 800?
And he's going to take it down.
And he had pocket tens with the 10 of hearts.
And this is going to be the first chip count of the night. This game really just started right at the beginning of the show, George. So let's take a look at this. $50,000 on the table. Corporation Mike at 12, Barry at 12, Ed at 5. Let's take a look at the differences. Ed down a quick 10 grand. Barry's up 6,600. Mike is only up 2,000 here, and Amir is down 200. I'm not quite sure if that's correct because I think Amir is up about 5,000.
That was before the show really started.
Yeah,
think
I don't
it's
know if we
from-
got the chip count there in the
Right.
beginning. Yeah. Jack 8 deuce here with a couple of hearts. Mike is going to bet out here with queen deuce. And Allen's going to call here with just ace 9, George. Absolutely nothing. Jack 8 deuce on the flop. Mike's bet out with bottom pair, and Allen, sometimes he takes off. He's got the ace of hearts in his hand. The turn's at 3. Check, check. Allen needs to improve here, and the river's a king.
Almost got it.
Check. And look at this. Allen's going to bluff at it. He bets 200.
How about king deuce? If I hit the king,
He totally missed.
he's still good.
And look at that. Allen bluffed Mike, and he shows the bluff. You know what? I think you just tap the table and you say, nice job there, Allen.
Wow. That's enough to send Mike on sale.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, because Mike is only up, I think, a couple grand because he was down a quick 4 or 5 grand to Amir
That's right.
right before the show.
You know, usually it's good luck for me. Really? Yeah. You want me to give you a massage while you're playing? Can you get over here?
And that looks like he stepped out to have a cigarette. And that's a good idea. I mean, wow, what a pot.
Yeah.
Okay, happy.
Mike's got ace 6 suited here on the button. And he's going to raise it up.
100.
Makes it 100 to go. Patrick's got queen 10 offsuit. He limped in here in late position. Now Kenny Wynn's got ace queen. Might he re-raise Mike? Now he's talking about you don't necessarily want to build a big pot out of position with ace queen offsuit, but your hand is probably so much better than Mike's.
Right.
You know, maybe a re-raise is in order here, and he does re-raise. Mike really respects Kenny. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mike just folds here. The
Oh,
ace
I
six.
don't think he's going to play this hand. He's looking at chip stack right now, seeing how much he has. Is it
Kenny's
worth
not
it?
really that deep.
No.
And I think Mike knows he shouldn't call, but he makes the call anyways.
Maybe I get you on tilt later.
And this is an $800 pot here going heads up. King Jack 3. Well, that's a horrible flop for Mike. I assume if Kenny leads out here, Mike's going to easily fold. It's really a bad flop for Kenny as well.
It is, but I don't know if you can put Mike on anything either. I mean, you have to bet.
I got
Yeah.
a gut shot, but you got 2 of my outs.
Kenny bets 600 and he takes it down. We talk about Kenny being a tight player, but he really does play it taggy, tight, aggressive. And, you know, that really is the optimal style
It's worth
when you're talking about playing poker for a living.
Got like 4 or 5 grand in front of him.
You know, really the worst style is kind of loose passive.
Loose passive.
Loose
actually.
passive is really the worst style. I mean, some people play it weak tight. I don't really think that's a good style either. No, loose aggressive isn't necessarily a bad style if you can make it work for you, right?
Mike is the
Yeah.
atypical loose aggressive, and
Yeah.
he's made a lot of money, at least lately.
Patrick's going to raise it up here. 3-4 offsuit.
But if you look at the way Mike plays, he sees a lot of flops, and after the flop, he's gone.
Yeah.
So if he's there after the flop,
Now, for this hand here, George, you know, it looks pretty, but Patrick could be bringing it in with any two cards. You're out of position with 9-10 suited. Do you even want to get involved? Remember, how do you have to win a big pot? You've got to hit your hand, and Patrick has to hit the hand. How would Barry ever win money here with Patrick raising with 3-4? He makes a call. That brings Amir in with a couple of ducks. And this pot is quickly $450 going three ways. Queen 7-3 here. Patrick outflops everybody. Pair of threes is good. And it looks like he's going to continuation bet here. He's going to bet 250. About a 60% pot size bet. Barry really doesn't have anything here. And I assume Amir's going to get away from deuces. You know, it's funny. Sometimes Amir gets stubborn there, but I think deuces is just a little bit too weak.
now Amir has changed his game as of late. I've been playing with Amir for over a year now, and he's gone through phases. And right now he's playing type poker, good poker. I don't want to be in a hand with Amir without a good hand.
Really, you know, sometimes he loves to make moves against specific players.
I think he likes to make moves against someone like Mo.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why, but he normally doesn't make any moves against me. And likewise, I don't like to make a move against Amir. It's just, he usually has the goods.
Limp here by seed 4. We need to see his cards. Mike limps in.
5 players.
Limped around here 5 ways. And we're going to see a $200 pot here, limped around. Queen 7-4 with a couple of diamonds. And I don't think anybody has a pair here, George. It's amazing how often that happens. Barry Woods is good here with ace high. Gets checked around, the turn's a 4. And actually, Allen is good with the ace high. And the ace 9 right now would play. Chances are Allen and Barry will chop it up if this goes to showdown. Checked around once again. The river is a jack, and Mike backs into a pair. This one still might get checked down. Wow, Mike's going to throw a little bet out here with the jack. He's going to bet a $70 bet.
7 good?
170. And I do not think he's going to get called here by anybody. And, you know, unless Allen decides to call with ace high. I don't think Barry can call with a couple people after him.
What's your kicker? Alan's asking what?
Allen's showing the ace. And Mike is going to take it down there with the jack.
So 2 big hands against Jay. At ace 4 diamonds, I raised on the button. He was in the big blind. He re-raised me to 300.
Election pot players.
I just called. Flop came ace 4-7.
Rattle.
With 2 clubs. He bet, I raised, he re-raised, I re-raised, he went all in for like 5,000. He had ace deuce of clubs. His ace was dead. Good call.
Straddle here by C2 as Mike tells that story.
He kind of overplayed it. I mean, especially after 3 raises.
Mike calls here.
It's just a dry flush draw.
Now, Mike is just telling the table how he's the shit.
It straddle with ace 6 offsuit, and the flop came ace 6-6.
Limped around
That's
here.
Asian J.
6-3 of clubs.
Indian J, I think he's. Oh, maybe he's talking about Jay Hatsutani.
Yeah, it's
About that.
Hatsutani. He was texting me today, telling me, yeah.
Patrick's going to raise it up here, 200 out of the straddle spot with 5-3 of clubs. Mike calls with 5-6 of spades, and we are heads up here. $600 pot. King 10-7. Well, Patrick and Mike both have missed. Let's see if Patrick can lead with the continuation bet. Trish is not in the hand. And Patrick's going to bet 200 into about a $550 pot. And Mike makes a call in position. He doesn't really have anything. The turn is a queen.
Mike sniffed that out real quick.
And Patrick bets again. He bets 400 now. I mean, again, Mike's going to need to make a play here. Maybe he's going to try to represent diamonds. But Patrick is fired once again. And Mike raises, I believe, 1,000. Patrick releases the hand, and Mike takes it down. Mike's really great at, calling. Obviously, he's floating there with absolutely nothing in position. Again, you wonder if using that type of style is the best way to go about beating a game and beating Patrick, because I don't know if Patrick's going to lay down a king or a queen there in that spot. Just happens to be there that Patrick had absolutely nothing. Button moves over here to seat 9. That's out.
Discount it.
Couple of weak aces out here. Again, we're playing 20-40 no limit. And look at this. Kenny Wynn is just going to bring it in for a limp with jacks. George, we talked about this on Monday. He's even kind of in late position, but I think he just wants to win himself a big pot. Probably just trying to flop a set here with jacks.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I mean, you could raise it up, and with Kenny's image, he probably takes this down.
Wow, look at that work there by Evelyn. He's got 8 play action here limped around. It's a $320 pot. Well, now how does Kenny Wynn proceed? And look at Zhang. He's flopped the nuts with 8-10 here.
But I mean, this is an easy board for him to get away from.
And Zhang checks it. Boy, there's a lot of action killers. There's 2 spades out there. Wow, and Mike is going to bet, and I really wonder if Kenny's even going to get involved. I know it's Mike betting. There are 7 other people in the hand. Do you really want to raise here, George? And look at Alan's hand. He's got Queen 9 of spades. A monster flop for Alan.
I don't mind a raise here by Kenny. But he's just going to call. A raise would have been better. Find out where he's at right away.
Barry's got pocket 5s. Look at Alan's hand. Alan might go busto. Zhang has flopped the nuts. He checked it. Mike bet. Kenny Wynn might just call here and see what's going on with the jacks. Maybe he doesn't want to commit more money at this point. Might not necessarily be a bad play here, George. You might just want to see what's going on. And I think Alan is going to raise.
Oh, this is going to be great.
What a hand here for Alan. Top pair and a flush draw.
And I've got to tell you, the amount of times Alan sucks out on people.
He's going to make it 500 more. Ed is out of there. And how is Zhang going to play it? Really connected board.
Well, Zhang's got to think that right now there's too many draws out there. There's enough money in the pot. He's going to raise it up.
This pot right now is about $1,200.
And I don't know if Alan's going to fold this hand.
No, I don't think so, George. And Zhang is going to check raise all in here. He's going to check raise all in. He flopped the nuts. As you can see, Alan's
thinking he's got top pair with a flush draw.
Yep.
He's thinking he's got a monster hand.
How much more is it here? It's 1,700 plus the raise. The pot is 1,700 plus this raise. Looks like it might be about 2,500 here, maybe even more than that.
29.70.
29.70. So this pot right now is about 5,500. 29.70 for Alan to call. He's getting a little under 2-to-1 here, George. But according to the card percentages here, he probably should call. I mean, it's only 60-40 here. He's got like a backdoor straight draw. He's got a flush draw. If you've got a flush draw, you really only need 2-to-1, just as long as you're not against a higher flush draw or the guy's got a set. According to what we have up there, Alan should make this call.
But he's got to think that Zhang has at least a set here.
Or straight. Obviously, Alan can't think that his top pair is any good right now.
Right.
Again, it's about a $5,600 pot, about $2,900 for Alan to call. But again, from what we see, he should call here if he knew what Zhang had.
Right.
And Alan probably just has just about enough to make that call. I don't know if that's a $1,000 chip there to the right of that white stack, or if that's a blue chip. Just a blue chip. Alan probably has about 3,000 or so there, George. I think he can cover this bet.
Usually when Alan takes this long, he mucks the hand. No, and he's trying to talk himself into it. He says the card is coming. He knows the card's coming. Sounds like he knows he needs help at this point.
Well, I think it's obvious that your Queen 9 is not good right now.
Obvious to most people.
Yeah.
Remember, that's Alan here.
Again, it's a $5,600 pot.
He's saying it's a set. He knows the other guy has a set.
And somebody's called the clock on Alan. I think it was seat 4. John really played this a little bit dangerously, but he got the check raise all in. And he says he's going to wait until the last second.
She's John's gonna flush.
37 seconds.
Again, from what we see here, George, Allen should make this call. Now, the problem is if you put the guy's range on a set, look at that. Great work here. He's got 25 seconds left. Obviously, George, if the guy has a set, you don't have as much odds with your flush because he's got redraws. But if Allen hits his flush here, he is pure. He will win the hand.
If he knew, do you think, though, if John even turned his hand over, Allen would call?
10 seconds left here.
I think Allen's going to muck this hand.
2, 1, last second.
And he folds it. And I don't think you really can blame Allen. And look at that. The turn brought the 8 of spades, and the river brought the king of spades. Great work there by Isaac getting that rabbit cam shot in there. And Allen made it.
I know 9 is not good. I don't count on 9. Because if he's got set, still logical.
Allen's telling everyone how he's the shit right now.
Like I said, 2 of them.
Well, we often talk about the fact, though, George, we talked about this on Monday, about how people really overvalue top pair with the flush draw. If you receive a lot of heat, you have to know that you have to hit the flush. You basically only have a flush draw here.
Right.
Unless you improve to some sort of running 9-queen top full house. That's about it.
Yeah,
That's your only
you
draw.
can discount that for the fact that they might be also improving their hand.
Yeah.
So if you discount that, then you're left with the flush. You've got to hit it.
Yeah.
And it becomes a math problem.
Yeah. And he was getting a little under 2 to 1. Now, again, if you just got a pure flush draw and he has a straight, you can call. But if he's got a set, you got to put the guy in a range.
Right,
He's got to have a range. Might he made that play with 2 pair, top 2 pair? Is there a chance that Zhang does that with top 2 pair?
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I don't know, and I don't think the players know. They haven't seen him play enough. I think this is the first time, anyway, that I've seen him live at the bike. I know Mike would make that play, but I'm not sure that Zhang would.
Mike has raised it up here. He made it 100 to go with ace-6, and Barry's called him with ace-jack. Now, Barry's playing heads up against Mike in position, and he's got a better ace here. Well, there's the jack. I don't think Barry's going anywhere here. It's a $200 pot. And Mike bet.
Now, I don't mind on this board against Mike, an aggressive player. It's not even a bad idea, since you have one of the 3 overcards, to just smooth call even.
Well, Barry's going to raise it 300 more.
Bit of a dangerous play, but against a big stack like Mike, I want to make the 150, 200. Maybe a slow call. If the ace hits,
you might smooth call. You might, get Mike to spike an ace there on the turn. I mean, you're risking maybe hitting a king or a queen and maybe not knowing
yeah,
where
it's a
you're
totally unconnected board
Yeah.
against an aggressive player that you know is probably going to fire in at least one more time. I mean, those circumstances are rare and far between. So, and I don't mind, taking it down, shutting the hand down right there either.
You can't fight the ball game.
Button moves over here to seat 2.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your down. You cannot go up 30,000 feet the next day.
Wow. So Mike went.
Yeah, maybe some
Live straddle here by Mike. So it's going to be 80 to go.
We haven't seen you for a while. I know. Why? How can I tell? Just stuck out sitting there.
Button moves over here to Patrick in seat 2.
Mike went driving in Mexico with his friends. They give him a quick.
Kenny Wynn's going to pop this one up here. He's going to raise. So what do you think his range is here, George?
Probably
Not even-
ace-jack suited or better.
Yeah. Well, this time he's got pocket aces.
No, that would be a little bit better.
Yeah, not surprising. And Ed is going to call with Jack 7 suited here. Now, Mike's got Queen 8 offsuit. I don't think he's going to get involved. And you wonder here if Ed flops just a dry Jack. Is he really going to get in trouble?
The way Ed's running right now, it wouldn't surprise me.
Look at this.
Wow.
Kenny's got top set and Ed's got a flush draw.
We got fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
This pot right now is about $400. What an action flop here. Kenny's got top set. Ed has a flush draw.
No, they're black.
Sick, man. That's sick. I know.
Here, I got a bit 200 to make.
He's sitting back there like this, going to me, Ed.
$200 bet here, right into Kenny by Ed. And I think this is a really connected board. Let's see if... And Kenny is just going to smooth call. He's going to slow play it. $600 pot. The turn's a 7, and Ed picks up a pair with the spade draw. He bets $300 now. It's a $1,000 pot. $300 to call. And I assume Kenny is now going to push. He raises.
Even though I have nothing.
Raise 400 more.
He's going to make it 400 more. And Ed quickly calls. $1,800 pot to the river. Ed needs a spade. It does not come. Kenny fills up. And will Ed call the river here?
Yeah, like,
Ed's going to bet. It looks like Ed's
Yeah,
betting.
it's actually about a $2,200 pot right now.
okay, risk 300.
And look at this. Ed bets 300. About a $2,500 pot. I assume Kenny's going to push all in here. I mean, Kenny's got to hope that Ed has a queen here. And I think it's an easy push for value here.
Yeah, I'd consider
I don't think
that.
Kenny should really screw around.
I even consider how much.
I got to tell you, George, you know, Kenny, sometimes he over slow plays. If he gets all the money here, he gets all the money. But if Ed folds here, by Kenny not playing the flop fast, he did not get all the money.
Build yourself a pot.
Yeah. And he's going to raise it up here. He's going to make it 900. I just can't.
Remember, even with top set, your hand is vulnerable right there.
900 more here. The pot now is about 3,400. It's actually 3,700. 900 for Ed to call, and Ed's
And Ed-
going to call.
Ed says okay
Wow.
and says the hell with it.
Calls
It's just
with
money, right?
7. Kenny's going to win it with aces full. But look at Kenny. Look at the chips in front of Kenny right here. He actually has 200 left in front of him. He did not double through there. I know it's a minor thing, but I got to tell you, Ed probably should check fold the river. If he did, if Ed check folds the river there, Kenny loses about $1,500 in value
Yeah.
when he could have gotten all the money in earlier in the hand.
Yeah.
If he raised the flop, Ed's not going anywhere. Now,
You
Ed
know,
might even bet on the turn, and he can now push in, and Ed would call.
but from Kenny's point of view, he knows he's got a monster hand, and he doesn't really know how strong of a hand Ed does have, or as strong as a draw Ed has.
I don't have to bluff.
I mean, he got
understand what you're
everything
saying.
but $200 anyways. I mean,
No, but I'm saying, you know, if Ed is on a different day and Ed is playing better, he might check fold the river there. I've seen him do that before. He only had
Yeah.
a bottom pair.
Yeah.
And I think it's a disastrous mistake
Yeah.
if you leave
I
$1,500
mean, we have a
there
huge
on that flop.
advantage seeing all the hands and how they play out. I mean,
Patrick raised it up here with deuce 7 of clubs. Mike called him. Mike's got trip 8s. He checks it. Amir checks it. Mike is flop trip 8s. Patrick's going to make a little continuation bet here. Bets 150. Mike is going to make a little check raise. Patrick has absolutely nothing here, and he's going to get away from it. I know what you're saying. I know we can see the cards. But again, you've got to really think, when Ed bets out there, it's such an action pot. I always bring it back to the hand that we saw Barbecue John play against Russ, Hollywood Russ, maybe
Yeah.
a couple months ago with the Jack 4-4 flop. If Kenny doesn't get all of Ed's money in there, it's a really bad slow play. And again, Ed should really check fold the river. And for him, I've seen him fold there on bottom pair. He just got involved because he hit a 7. But again, it was such an action
Right.
flop. I mean, that's the point I'm
I,
making.
no, I agree with you. And I've seen Ed lay down much bigger hands than that. But,
Right. Limped around here 3 ways. King 3 deuce.
I mean, if Kenny knew that Ed was on a draw, the money goes in on the flop. No doubt about it.
Mike is going to bet 80 here, and Kenny's going to slow play again. He just calls. The 2 flush out there, and Amir calls. Amir calls here with queen 3. Well, the turn's a 4. Mike now picks up a pair. I mean, I guess the way Kenny looks at it is, you know, I'm a good enough player to maybe get away from a scary board. I assume he's not going to commit his chips. And look at this. Amir is going to represent diamonds. And look at Kenny here, grin. I would assume that Kenny is not going to get involved any further. That's going to be the scariest card in the deck for a flop kings
Right.
up here on the turn.
And Kenny knows he should have bet right here.
Or should have raised money.
Should have raised. I mean, Amir could have a straight. Most likely has a flush in Kenny's mind.
Service time? After the hand?
And the way Amir's been playing, great raise.
Kenny folds? I mean,
Knowing what play you can actually raise.
And he shows it to Mike. He shows the slow play. Like I said, I'm a fan of Kenny's game, but kind of like Mo, the host of the game. He really slow plays too much for my taste. I got to tell you, because I think Mo slow plays a little bit too much as well. Now, Mo's really good about if he's the pre-flop raiser and he hits a big hand. he was the pre-flop raiser with aces and he hits top set, he definitely will continuation bet because people expect him to. But, you know, sometimes he really slow plays the sets and such and doesn't get... Again, we talk about really making a lot of money in this game by building yourself a big pot with a big hand.
Yeah.
I know, but you checked out a turn. Remember, you went like this, and then I bet.
No. You got first one round.
And look at this. Trish is going to raise it up here to 140. It looks like she's got ace-king. And Patrick is going to re-raise. He makes it 480. He's got pocket queens. And Trish has got ace-king suited here. And this is a tough hand to play out of position. If she re-raises, Patrick's going to call.
Right, but
She
it's against
calls.
Patrick. You can't really give Patrick credit for a better hand than ace-king.
$1,000 pot here. Well, Patrick's got a nice flop here with the overpair.
Diet Coke and water.
Trish checks.
No coffee. You don't need the
And Patrick's going to bet 500.
You think these guys? Yeah. Put on my tip. I think these guys will know you want
Trish can't win a hand here.
And Trish gets away from it. Patrick takes it down there with the queens.
You made her muck the best hand there. You made her muck the
Got
best
3 people away from the table. Again, I'm still looking for video blog fans. Email us, hand for blog, in the subject, live@thebike.com.
You weren't involved in the hand, that's why.
I just thought maybe I could coax you into showing it.
I did, I showed.
Button moves over here to seat 6 to Kenny Wynn.
Big pair.
And everyone's getting dealt in here because it is a collection pot game, George, so I guess everyone has a right to the hand.
Absolutely.
And because
Everyone but Mike, I suppose, who's not there.
well, because it is a jackpot, jackpot game, you might as well just get dealt in every hand.
I thought we were on Wahoo.
Patrick limps in here with deuce 9 of diamonds. Mike just limps with ace queen. He does not raise. And look at this. Kenny limps in with queen jack. And this is going to be interesting.
Oh,
If it
but-
comes out queen high, is Kenny going to get involved with his dominating hand?
Oh,
Wow, look at this. Mike's got ace queen, but Kenny's got top 2 pair, and Patrick's got a flush draw. Big action flop here.
let's see if anyone's going to bet this hand.
Now, I got to think that Kenny's going to raise here.
God's raise, yeah.
Mike bets out about 200, and
Oh.
Kenny just calls again.
I mean,
Wow.
that's a draw-heavy board, Kenny. I mean, there's a straight draw, there's a flush draw.
Again, maybe he thinks I'm good enough to get away from it if the flush card comes.
Why? If I was Kenny... Now, if you're in Patrick's position now, you're loving this.
And Patrick is just gonna check call here. And this pot is about $800 here. Mike got the ace of diamonds. Here we go to the turn. With a turn 7. Mike now bets 600, and I guess Kenny is now going to pop him. Well, that is really a safe card, but boy, you wonder, you know, can you really get scared with a whole bunch of cards in the deck that come on the turn? You might also get killed with the action.
Sure, I mean, any 10...
Any Broadway card, right? Or a diamond.
Right.
Yeah.
And ace kills Kenny. I mean, there's a ton of cards out there.
Well, it's a $600 bet. It's a $1,400 pot, and Kenny is now going to raise. And that 7 is very inconsequential. It seems like he is either raising on the come here with diamonds, or he had a flopped hand, like a set. And because you know Kenny has a tendency to slow play, I might even put him on a set of 4s here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think Mike is going through the hands right now, and he knows that 7 didn't really help Kenny since he only called. He's probably putting him on a set right there.
Yeah. Set of 4, something like that. Kenny makes it 1,000 more. And the pot right now is about, I want to say,
Oh,
2,400. And Mike calls it's a $3,400 pot. Mike
Wow.
needs an ace and an
And
ace
has-
only. And the winner is an ace! And Mike sucks out and he checks. He checks. He's still not comfortable with his hand. It's a $3,400 pot. And does Kenny value bet Queen Jack? We always talk about,
I think he will.
will he value bet a very vulnerable hand? Does he think Mike might be on the nut flush draw and would get called if Mike has, you know, if he missed with the ace of diamonds, but he now backed into a pair? And look at this, he checks behind him. And ace queen is going to win it. And Mike is looking at it like, that's probably not one of the range that I would put Kenny on. I would definitely even think Kenny was going to raise there with queen jack on the flop.
You
Wow.
see, the thing is, if you put Kenny on a set, why call it all?
Exactly right. He wasn't comfortable
And
with
now
his
that your
George.
hand came, I'm not sure what. I mean, I know the street got there, but do you put Kenny on a draw at that point?
You know, I sometimes give Barry Woods a hard time with this because I think Barry plays it street to street. He doesn't play it sometimes like chess, thinking forward. And you're totally right about the fact that if you're going to call with ace-queen and you hit your two pair and you still don't know if you're good, why even call, right?
Exactly.
And Mike was not comfortable with his hand at the river. The only thing Mike is going to get involved with, I think because he improves, if Kenny moves all in, now Mike is going to call, and if Kenny did have a set of fours, he would lose. It's almost a lose-lose situation for him.
Exactly.
We got a raise here by Mike with pocket eights, and Zhang is limped in here with jacks.
Now,
Allen calls.
This is the advantage of limping in with a strong hand.
Now look at this. We got a lot of dead money. 4 people have called. Is Zhang going to pull the limp re-raise here, or is he just going to call with jacks?
Now, if this was me, I would re-raise right here. There's way too many people. There's already enough money in the pot.
He's just going to call here, and we've got five-way action. It's a $1,500 pot. Mike is the pre-flop raiser here with eights. 9-6-9. And
Not
Mike
a bad
might-
slot for
yeah.
eights.
Let's see how Zhang is going to play it. Should you lead out here with jacks? Kind of see where you're at. He checks it. Well, maybe you check, Mike bets, and you kind of see if somebody's sandbagging a 9 here. I got to tell you, George, if I check jacks here, Mike bets and somebody else calls, you might just get away from it.
And the fact that Mike raised pre-flop, you can't give him credit for a 9 right here. So,
Right.
so Jack's, Zhang, I think, knows he's good right here.
Well, Mike sometimes stumbles into big hands. Like, he could have an overpair here.
Right. Well, he could,
Yeah.
but I think you got to find out where you're at right now. The reason is,
And he check raises all in.
Right.
$2,500 pot.
and that's an excellent move by Zhang, because if he just flat calls right there, Mike might put him on a 9.
It was a $2,500 pot when Mike bet the 1,000. So now he makes the call and he pushes in for another, looks like $3,000. It's a $6,800 pot, $3,000 for Mike to call. Let's maybe think of what Mike might be going through his head. Do you really think a guy would play a 9 this fast? Might Mike think that Zhang is doing this with something like 7-8, although Mike has the 2 8s in his hand? Could he just do it with the 6? Is Mike possibly thinking that he's got, is that even going through his head that he might have limped with an overpair to the board here?
I think so.
Well,
I think so. I mean, 10s is a credible hand right here, and Jacks is also a credible hand.
that's what
He's
saying.
thinking 10s.
Yeah.
That's just the only hand I can beat you on a beach man.
Did it ever occur to you that you're not supposed to figure out every goddamn situation?
A little humor there by Ed.
And you gotta love Ed. He's down 10,000. He's having a good time.
I think if we really look at this hand deep, if Mike had something like some other pocket pair, and he makes the call, he's calling, and Zhang is way out in front. It's
Really?
a $7,000 pot.
Oh, Mike, come on.
The turn is a queen. Mike needs an 8 and only an 8. And the river is a 7, and Zhang is going to win it there with jacks up. Pocket jacks there are good. 7 over. Boy, that is a $10,000 pot. It was $7,000 when Zhang pushed in. Mike called, and he loses. What I was going to say, George, is I thought Mike might fold the hand because he talks himself out about the fact that maybe Zhang does that with 7-8. But if you're in there and you've got 2 8s, what are the odds that he has 7? I mean, I guess it's a possibility.
7-8. Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, I don't know. There's better spots. There's all kinds of hands, really, that can be. Maybe he does have a 9. Who knows?
And he just played it real fast.
Yeah, whatever. But if you went through the motions, and, I mean, what else can you beat with 8s? A draw, that's it.
Right, and what draw? And that's what my
You
point.
can't
what
beat a
draw?
9, you can't
Yeah.
beat a 10s and
Yeah.
up. I mean, you can beat a draw. And do you want to commit that much money?
You know, it just brings up the fact, though, that if you actually had a 9 there and you played it fast and you thought Mike had a legitimate hand, because he bets 1,000 on that board, there's 5 people in
Right,
there.
right.
I don't think he does that if he misses. I know Mike bluffs a lot,
Right.
but he bets out big there. I think he probably has an overpair. And if you play a 9 that fast, Mike might think, why would he play a 9 this fast?
Exactly, the reverse psychology thing.
And he would have gotten paid off anyways
He
if
would've
he had a
gotten
9.
paid off, sure.
So, you know, sometimes we talk about how fast playing really wins you the money in this game.
Yep.
the best way to deceive. Mike is going to raise it up.
Well,
here
and
to
you can
240.
see Mike's kind of the way he reads people, and he's learning too. He hasn't been playing this game too long, even though the amount of money that he brings and the amount of play that he brings to the table. And so he's going through the motions. He's thinking tens, and maybe next time, he's saying, okay, you got tens, and he's refining his game, his reads too. I mean, you can't always give him.
Freeway action here. Now, Mike raised it with King 10 of hearts to 240. We got 3 callers in there. We don't know what Zhang has right now. The flop is 8-3-6 with a couple clubs. It gets checked over to Mike. He continuation bets, and Patrick's got an open-ended straight draw, and he's going to check raise Mike. Whoa, wait a minute. He just called. He just called. So Mike has absolutely nothing here. The pot is 2,000. The turn is a 6. He's still good with King High here, George.
And that 6 doesn't change much of anything. I think Mike is going to continue betting here.
You think you might put Patrick on clubs or a straight draw?
Sure. I mean, that 6, you really got to find out.
And it goes check, check. And the river's a queen, and both players have absolutely nothing. Will Patrick fire out with a bluff? It's a $2,000 pot here. What would he bet on the river? That's the question. This would be a sick call with King High, or if Mike makes a raise here. We've seen Mike make a bluff raise when he thinks somebody else is raising.
Oh, what a hefty bet!
Wow, Patrick's going to bet 2,000 here, and I don't think there's any fold equity. That's got to be running through Mike's head. It's a $2,000 bet here by Patrick, and Mike might want a bluff raise, but Patrick doesn't have that much left. I think that if Mike thinks he's got the best hand, he's just going to call here with the King High.
If Mike lays down, if you're Patrick, do you show him here?
George, would Mike ever call with King High here, putting Patrick on busted clubs? If Patrick backed into a pair, would he bet this much? Would he bet with a queen here on the river? I don't buy it.
I think more of a realistic bet here would have been about half the pot. If you're saying call me.
The pot is 4,000. It's 2,000 a call.
But how about if the guy's on an ace-high flush?
Well,
that beats you too. I mean,
that's the problem. Ace-high flush draw. That's probably. How about a king-high flush draw with a better kicker as well? That's the inevitable problem here. Would Patrick bluff in this spot more than 2-1? It almost smells like it's a busted draw.
Wow.
And he's going to raise.
What instincts
He
by Mike.
re-raises all, and he pulls it off for the second time, and Patrick folds. And this is another hand. If anybody watched the video blog, and he shows the bluff, Mike correctly, if we can keep that board up there for a second, Mike correctly snuffed out. Yeah, look at that. He correctly snuffed out, the river bet on a missed draw. But the question now is, if anybody watched the video blog from this current week, is Mike's hand strong enough just to call, or does he need to raise a la Mike Wu did last week to try to get maybe a better bluff off the hand, like an ace-high club draw?
Wow.
Because I think Patrick is calling with any pair there with the pot size. But it would be a real disaster if you call with King 10 and he wins with an ace-high flush draw.
I think someone as good as Mike, I think what tipped him off was the big bet. The big bet on the river by Patrick, 2,000. And wow, what a call.
What a move.
Great poker here tonight.
King Jack 8 here, rainbow. I think, like I said, the inevitable question is, can I call, or do I need to raise to get, say, like ace-4 of clubs off the hand?
I don't think you can just call.
Really? You just don't think your hand's strong enough to call?
No.
No. Trish is going to bet out here with the jack.
I mean, if you thought you could take it down with just the king, if you knew you were good, just call. I mean, you're not risking a lot. You're going to take the pot.
Again, though, like I said, I think it really, really advanced, and Mike is really up to this level when he's talking about reading the boards. I'm going to ask him after the show. I don't think Patrick's going to bet out if he backed into a pair. Not that much. I think he's got a monster or nothing. But the issue is that, like I said, it is a total disaster if you let him win with ace-8 of clubs, right? But if you raise and you can get him off that hand, it's a great move.
Right.
Got 49,000 here on the table. Corporation Mike, 13,000. Patrick is down now to 800. Remember, Patrick had 800 at the end of the hand. Mike raised him. The pot was 6,800 for Patrick to call. That was the full bet. Let's take a look at the differences. Gary's up 6,600. Mike's up 3,000. Ed down a quick 13 grand. Kenny's going to raise it up here with the ace-king. And he takes it down.
You remind him that?
You know, my question to you also is that if Patrick's invested,
And it won't be the last.
say, he's got 800 left, it's a $6,000 pot, can you get him off of an ace-high flush draw on the end that's busted out? Will he call with ace-high?
I
It's
think
just
he
a
would.
really interesting thing.
I think
you
he
know?
probably would call.
Well,
I mean, Patrick
if
would.
you're saying that he would call, then maybe there is no value to raise.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? It's so interesting that we've had twice that situation happen. Bluff raises on the river. When the player,
Maybe he thinks he's got a bet because of the king. Maybe he thinks his kick is no good if he puts him on a king high flush draw.
Right.
Then at least you
Yeah.
get that hand
Yeah.
out the way. That's, but
yeah,
He raised on the flop with that.
it's really interesting. Yeah.
Board. So I was thinking you had king, queen, you know.
he Mike's actually saying maybe he has king queen. Right
Yeah, but
there.
if he's got king queen, Patrick's not going to fold. The queen came at the end. It's top pair. Remember, he's got 800 left in the hand, and it's 6,000 in the pot.
Well, I don't think Mike remembers the ball just like
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But he's saying like a better king is what he's saying.
Right. It's a really interesting hand. Mike has played that move twice. He did it against Timmy a couple weeks ago. Really going with this read that
Right,
missed
right.
the draw, and he's going to raise him off of it.
Will the sushi place be over here for dinner? Will we get dinner from?
Yes, please make some arrangements.
Button moves over here to C3. So Ed's got the button. Very interesting, interesting hands there.
Is it really?
Say I want that
Can I see a menu somehow or something?
Got a raise here by Ed. 7 for a heart. And Trish's going to fold it. Did you get a chance to watch the video blog from this week?
I have not seen it yet. No.
Well, anyone can
I will go back.
click over to the left-hand side of your screen and check out the video blog. Again, Dave and I analyzed the hand that Mike Wu made a bluff raise at Farhad on the river.
Now, I don't want to just take away from this action, but I did see the first video blog when you were referring to time you had a set
Yeah, against
against another
Asian
set,
Mike. Yeah,
against Asian Mike.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I do disagree with you guys' analysis on that. But we can talk about that offhand, maybe another time
Okay.
while I'm in there we can go
Yeah,
through
yeah.
that.
Trish is going to raise it up here with pocket tens. Patrick smooths call here with king 8 of clubs. Ed is going to call queen 10.
Keep anybody out?
And Alan calls here. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people have called Trish. $1,000 pot. She's raised it with tens. Pretty bad flop for tens here. Ace 9 king. Wow, and she's going to fire anyways. She's going to bet a half pot size bet into these players. She's got the best hand here, George. Amazingly. Now, might Ed take one off with a gut shot here?
And the way he's running wouldn't surprise me.
Now, Patrick is in the hand with king 8 of clubs. He actually has the best hand. Patrick has got king 8 of clubs. So he has the best hand. Didn't quite have that up there. There it is. It's a $500 bet. And is Patrick going to commit himself here with a weak king?
How big is the
It's a $1,500 pot. Patrick's thinking, do I want to commit here? I mean, Trish has made a huge bet. Oh, I mean, she's made a half pot size bet into 4 people, George.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you've got to give her credit for something better than your king with an 8 kicker.
I'm sure you're not going to be calling her raises with king 8 suited anyways. But
You don't have a redraw, but
and he's out of there. He's out.
But there's always the first time, huh?
I mean, say you would call with king queen of clubs, and Ed calls with the gut shot. And he actually, his overcard, the queen, is good if it comes. It's a
actually not much of a dog. I mean, he's
it's a
$2,000
$2,000 pot,
I'm no
and the turn's a jack,
Right.
and Ed's got the nuts. But remember, Trish doesn't really have much here. I don't think she's going to call, obviously. She's got now 4th pair to the board.
now, yeah.
Ed bets 1,500 into a pot that's about 2,000.
I'm playing so bad.
Oh, you're not playing bad, Trish. It's just one of those days.
No, she's going to get away from that. Trish is really, really tight aggressive, George. She really bets a lot. She makes that continuation bet. I just wonder at what point, if you raise, and it's a really loose table, you raise pocket tens, you're up front, you get 4 people to act after you. Do you just want to check and give up on a flop of ace king?
I think so. And that's an aggressive table. And we talked about this before with big pairs like tens or jacks. Why not just limp? You're probably going to hit and get paid off. Otherwise, I mean, 'cause more likely than not, there's going to be overcards there anyways. And if anyone's called you, Trish, if I'm Trish, a type player, they're probably calling at least with an ace, a king, or something that can beat you. So,
well, you know, there's 2 schools of thought that I understand. You know, you might want to disguise your hand and win a big pot. But is there any school of thought to the fact that people are playing so loose that your hand is just, it's almost like a limit value race. Your hand is probably just so much better than the field that you actually want to build the pot up because your hand is so much better in the beginning. And look at this, she's picked up pocket aces this time now. And she has just limped in here. She might try to limp re-raise her son. And Mike has a raising hand for him on the button. He's got 8, 9 of hearts.
Oh, I think so. I think it's going to be raised up 240.
And you think that Trish is going to pull the limp re-raise here? Limp re-raise her son?
Probably. Is Mike taking a look at those cards?
Well, there's a big discussion about who owes the collection pot here.
Okay, I'm paying them 110. Then what?
$11, $2. 11 plus $2, that's 13. Right, that's what he gave. So enough. That's enough.
The action's on Ed here.
Okay, you keep the check.
Now, the funny thing here is, depending on how much Mike brings in for a raise, I think you also have a question if I'm Trish here with aces. Mike raises on the button. Can I ever just smooth call to disguise the strength of my hand? Or am I worried that Patrick is going to overcall behind me? Because Patrick has limped to my left right now. And I'm pretty sure that Mike is going to raise. He's going to make it 200, and if it's that small of a raise, I think Trish is going to definitely need to limp re-raise. Because Patrick's in between him. Let's see how this one runs out. Mike makes it 200 on the button.
And Trish really doesn't have, you know, I mean, I don't mind the limp.
She just calls, though.
But look at her money.
Well, I think she's got a couple of 2,000 chips
is that
underneath
what that is
there.
underneath?
Yeah. So she's not fazed by the fact that
Oh, okay.
Patrick's to
I
her
thought
left.
that was just a stack of brown, and that was it.
$600 pot here. Well,
That's
10
gotta
3
like
deuce.
that flop.
Well, I think she can definitely play this hand for a check raise. She's really disguised the strength
And
of
those
her
are
hand.
$2,000 chips.
Yeah. And she's changing him up with her
And,
son
and, you,
there.
and you think that's a tell? Before you're getting ready to act, I'll to drop these up.
Well, let's see how Trish is going to play it. She actually is going to lead right out here. Maybe she hopes that Mike get a piece of this. She bets 300. And Mike folds it. Again, we talk about disguising sometimes the strength with a big pair like that. Now, the other thing that you might think about also, George, is, yeah, Patrick's to my left, but say he's got less than $1,000. It doesn't really even matter. Maybe I still can play it as a disguise. Because the real money's in Mike's hand. I'm going to play against Mike. I don't really care what Patrick's in there with. He doesn't have any money to hurt me anyways.
I see, yeah.
To the left.
That's a good point.
You know.
And hope Ed's getting a foot massage down there, because I don't know. Got the girl bending over right there. I don't know. But, yeah. Wow.
Limped around here. Jack 10-6 here with a couple spades. We're already halfway through the show.
Do you hear that? Tuesday's event was sold out. On get there 2 a.m. Monday night. Sold out.
Well, Mike's open-ended here with Queen 9, George.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to play this 2,000.
Gonna make it 160 to go. Sometimes I talk about the value of having a
for Saturday's event.
two-gapper card, like Queen 9 here. Is that you're open-ended, but possibly can you also represent King Queen? I mean, you want a king to come, you actually want an 8 to come, but can you really drive hard if an ace
And also,
comes? Or a 9?
it's a very well disguised straight if it gets there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I think everyone thinks if you call that you have king queen. So not only can you represent the ace or the 9, but your straight that comes, people think that you have king queen. They don't think you got there.
That's right.
Look at that sushi menu.
Yeah, how do you find out?
I was so upset.
I'm really revved up, George. I'm going to be heading to Vegas on Sunday afternoon. Playing the Omaha event on Monday. $220 raise here by Mike with ace-6 offsuit.
So you've been doing really well online on the Omaha events. Wish you all the best of luck in that.
Thank you very much.
They got a event on Saturday, but Sunday too.
Okay, 2 players. Main event, 8,000 players.
And we're heads up, and Ed is dominating here. Well, Mike's hit the ace, but I don't know. Ed might take one off for the gut shot. And it goes check, check. Mike does not bet. And Ed picks up the nut flush draw now. And it goes check, check again, and the river's a queen, and Ed's got a straight. I don't really know what Mike was doing there.
And Mike's like looking at this thinking, why didn't I?
And he calls, and the straight is good. I don't know if Mike was caught up reading the sushi menu or what.
Now, Mike's in there trying to just win a big pot, that's all. I mean,
Trish, do you know how many
Yeah, but
tables are here?
I know you don't want to. You're probably not going to win a big pot with ace-6, but what if Ed calls you king-9 the whole way? Might win $1,000 there.
right. And look at that shirt Mike is sporting today, huh?
Yeah.
But we're adding another 100 tables.
All right. I'm going to have one more buy this. And then I'm out.
What do you think about that shirt, bro?
It's a nice shirt.
Nice shirt. I don't
Mike
like
is
it.
a stylish guy.
I don't like it.
No, I don't think so. Why? I mean, what do you have in the collegium roll?
No, easy rolls. Collision rolls.
Depends on how long you want it to cook.
Limp in here by Kenny Wynn. We haven't seen Amir play that much, or Barry Woods for that matter.
Yeah, Barry's playing. Barry's playing some of the best poker I've seen him play in a while. Of course, he misread his hand and played it well that one time. But,
Yeah, he lost a little value with Trip Jacks.
But other than that, he was just playing very good poker tonight.
7-way action here, limped around. Ace, king, 6. Well, Barry's got a weak ace 5 over there in seat number 7.
I've
Couple spades.
wasted more than 5% in toilets.
Well, Ed is going to lead out here with bottom pair. Kenny Wynn has got a gut shot, but there's a 2 flush out there. I'm sure he's probably not going to get involved. Barry's going to throw a little raise in there. It's funny how we talk about sometimes when your hand is weak, you need to raise, even though you don't want to build yourself a big pot. Now, when Alan calls the raise, he's either got a better ace than you, or he's got a flush draw. And now you got to think, what the hell does Ed have? Well, once Ed folds here,
Hey, I didn't say who was what, okay?
if you're Barry, might you bet here again on the turn and then take a free showdown?
If it's a raggedy card, Alan backs into the bet.
Well, he's got a pair now. He still doesn't have the best hand. Barry's going to bet here again. Bets 800,
I'm
and
not sure
Alan
if that's going to do it.
is gonna
Alan's also
call.
picked up a pair.
And here we go. It's about a $3,000 pot to the river.
Oh!
And the river is a spade. And Barry should so easily
it's
get
two
away
pair,
from
but
aces
it's
up,
two-
though. He should so easily get away from this hand. It doesn't make any difference, George. That 5 does not change anything for Barry's hand. I do not buy it. Alan is now going to bet. He bets all in, and Barry calls without even a second thought. He looks at it. He made 2 pair. What do you think Alan's calling you with? I know it makes you aces up there, George, but come on. And Alan takes down a pot that's over $5,000 there. That's really one of the first mistakes I've seen Barry, bad mistakes that I've seen him make in a while here. He's really played well.
Just when I gave him tons of credit,
I heard you.
and I would give my left nut if I could just catch a bigger flush when Alan's in a pot like that.
Yeah.
Seriously, that guy has got to be the suck-out king. I've got to tell you. He is absolutely amazing.
Oh, look at this. Ed Shonazarian's limped in with kings in C3. And Barry, who just lost the last pot. He makes
Barry's
it
some kind of a
230.
mini tilt right here.
He's got ace-king. Ed is going to pull the limp re-raise, and I don't think Barry's going anywhere here. Barry might lose another one here. He's in real bad shape because you can see that Mike has one of the aces in his hand.
690.
And there you go. Ed makes the limp re-raise here to 600. 690. And Barry, man, he's coming in here.
Well, if he hits an ace, the money's going in anyways.
And this pot is
There's only
quickly-
2 aces left now.
And Patrick is going to be all in here on the side with 7-9 of hearts.
That's my favorite hand right there, 7-9 suited.
So this pot is going to be about $1,800 in the main, and we're going to have some money on the side here. Well, actually, it's less in the main because Patrick only had about 500. Maybe 1,500 in the main, some on the side. The total pot is about 1,800 or 1,900, and Barry's in real bad shape here. Here we go. Ed, the pre-flop raiser.
Oh, what a flop
And look at this.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick's all in with the flush draw. Nice flop for Ed. Ed bets 1,000. Barry should easily get
Barry
away
should
from
get away
this.
from this.
Yeah. What really would have killed Barry if the Case King came out, I think he really
Oh.
would have. Oh, what is Barry doing? He makes the call.
He's thinking backdoor
Wow.
flush. The board is paired, Barry.
And the turn's a 4. And Ed bets 1,000 again. The pot right now is about $5,000.
This-
It's 1,000 for Barry to call. He's got 2 outs.
This can only be Barry tilting at this point. I mean,
He's getting 5-1. It's a $5,000 pot. 1,000 for Barry to call.
but you have ace high with no other draw.
Oh man. And look at, Ed and Barry both have a heart, so the chances of flush comes is that much less for
Right,
Patrick.
right.
But now the side pot's big. Ed bet 1,000 and Barry called the flop.
Throw the hand away, Barry. Come on.
It's a $5,000 total pot, 1,500 in the main, probably about another 3,500 on the side between Barry and Ed here.
And this is the part of Barry's game I really don't understand. When he's up against an Ed or a Mike, these egos get involved with Barry, and he just can't seem to just forget about it and go on. Just let it go.
Well, he's asking Ed how much he has left.
Oh, don't even think that you're going to put three raise and Ed's going to fold.
Ed only has about maybe 2,000 left.
Oh, and that should be a tell right there. You want to go in? Ed's told him already. He's putting it in.
Barry has 2 outs here if he makes this call. Mike had one of the aces.
But even if he's got a pair of threes, Barry, you'll beat. Come on.
And he's out of there.
I know. Good hand, never hit. Doesn't matter.
So Ed wins the side. Patrick needs a heart here. And here we go to the river. And the river's a 10. Ed's got a full house. 10's full of kings. And that's a nice win there for Ed. It's rare that Barry tends to go on tilt. But again, I talk about, George, that mistake begets mistake. I think Barry called too quickly when he made aces up against Allen. I mean, he didn't work it through. I think he's thinking to himself, well, I got aces up now. Now I have to call. But what is logically Allen in there calling with? I mean, everybody knows Allen's game so well. I don't know how Allen possibly is going to bet a hand on the river that doesn't beat you there.
And there's the Sammy Davis Jr. in the flesh.
Yeah.
You need about 10 sticks of dynamite to get Allen off of a draw. Seriously.
Absolutely.
I mean, so if he's still there and you've been betting all the way,
Maybe one day me and you are going to win.
the only hand you could beat is just a dry ace. That's it.
Button moves over here to seat 1 to Trish. Live straddle here by Mike, seat 5. Allen calls. Just a call here with ace, king of diamonds. He might be trying to pull the limp re-raise here.
Allen always limps with big hands.
Ed's got queen deuce fresh off of a big win here. The action's on him. I don't even know if he knows it. He calls. Now Zhang is in the hand. We haven't seen what he has. Seat 4. He calls. He's got ace queen. So Allen's got Zhang dominated here. Mike does not raise out of the straddle spot. We've got 4-way action here. $320 pot. Queen 5-7.
And there's one of the 2 remaining queens.
And is
Comes right
Ed
off.
going to get in trouble here? He's got queen deuce. And he's fresh off that big win. This could get big here. It's a $320 pot. Now remember, it is limped around. Ed's going to bet 110, kind of a weakish.
I like that bet. kind of informational bet. If he gets raised, he knows exactly where he stands right here.
And he does get raised.
No good, sir.
And Alan's probably thinking, wow, why didn't I raise this? Wow, I can't believe my ace king didn't hit. Look at that.
Yep.
Nines are no good. No.
How could I miss?
In my hand, you raise it.
Everyone at that table raised it.
I almost
Not just Mike.
So how much did I have to put into
So
it?
I have to make sure you know.
No, 190.
So it's 190 more, and Ed makes the call, and this pot is quickly $1,000. Now for Zhang here, he needs to bet and build himself a pot here on the
Absolutely.
turn.
Absolutely.
Turns a 9. How about a nice $800 bet here by Zhang so he can bet
About
enough on the
two-thirds,
river?
half to two-thirds of the pot.
He's going to bet 600 here. Well, the 9 did complete a draw if Ed had 6-8. Ed calls, and can you value bet here if the board pairs ace-queen? I definitely think for sure. Well, the river's a 10. Can you still value bet ace-queen here?
I don't think so. That completed
Really?
too many draws for me. I think I'm happy just to take down the pot at this point, and hopefully my queen is still good.
And it gets checked down there. I don't necessarily know if I totally agree with you there.
I mean, but what happens if someone comes over the top? Now what?
Yeah, but it's Ed, though, George. I think that Ed's probably going to bet 2 pair on the river. If he checks, I think I specifically put him on a queen. I can throw another $1,000. It's a very fine line, value betting 1 pair in a big no-limit game. I understand that.
But look at it from Zhang's point of view. He's never played with that. All right, he's seen a couple of hands that he's lost. He's gone on
Okay.
drop, sent out.
If he's not that familiar, yeah.
Now, you may do that. I don't think I would even be comfortable doing that. Why?
You wouldn't bet ace-queen there at the end against Ed?
But
I think you're losing. I think you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Do you specifically put Ed on a weak queen that's not 2 pair? I mean, is Ed really capable of making a check raise bluff on the river?
Absolutely.
A check
Absolutely.
raise
You kidding
bluff?
me?
A check raise bluff on the river? A
my
bluff?
friend, I've played with Ed many times when he's done that. Many times.
I've never seen it on the show. I might be wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong.
Eh?
It's a rare occasion.
You may be laughing now, but he's done it many times.
4-way action here, limped around.
I mean, why? I mean, do you really need to be that greedy to earn yourself another
It's
600?
not greedy. It's making more money in poker, man.
I don't know. I don't think you should I mean, there's everything's up there. I don't think you should reopen up the betting like that.
100.
Ed's gonna
Like
bet
you said, if that board paired up, fine. I'm happy with that. I've got an ace kicker.
Then
I'm
you
good.
are gonna value
Yeah,
bet.
then I'm going to value bet.
Yeah.
But
Email here from David Franken saying, can you explain what the collection pots are all about? You want to take that one, George, for this game?
the collection pots, just instead of the casino getting a rake, the usual $3 rake plus a collection for the jackpots, just do it all in one shot. Every half an hour, I believe. It's $11 a person.
And the winner of the pot, if it's over
And
a
the
certain
winner of the
amount.
pot, if it's over $600, gets to pay that $99 or $110, whatever that is.
And what happens if someone's been up away from the table for a while?
They still collect for them
Yeah.
because they're still getting dealt cards, even though they're away from the table. So since you're actually effectively paying for your hand, you're still in for a chance of hitting the jackpot. So you still get a hand when you're not there.
Got an email here from Owen Deaning. He says, hey, I'm up here, 4:30 in the morning in Ireland. Absolutely addicted to the Wednesday show. What a show. Even though it's repeated all day tomorrow, I can't help but watch it. Some amazing poker being played. Keep up the good work. Well, of course, the Brits and the Irish have a long history.
Long history of what? Yeah,
A lot of people in Ireland don't like the Brits. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same way
I know
going
there's a
around the
lot
other
of
way.
people in Ireland that are going to be rooting for the Portuguese
Yeah,
come Saturday,
yeah,
but
240.
and I don't see them there, so that's fine with me.
$240 raise here by Ed. He's got pocket sixes. Looks like Patrick is out of the game. Now Zhang is going to call next to act. He's got ace queen offsuit. And it's about a $500 pot here. It's pocket sixes against ace queen.
Oh, 777.
That's a-
You know how much that is?
Wow.
$500 each.
Ed wins $500
Yeah,
each in the
playing
pair
the pair
game.
game?
He's got 3 sevens. What an unbelievable
Wow.
prop bet.
That's one of the biggest pot sets won all night.
And he's going to bet 500. Pretty good flop here for sevens. Do you even get involved if you're Zhang here? Ed bets here with a full house.
Michael, 500.
Shut up.
Thank you, sir. Wow.
Now, I got to tell you, if Zhang had smooth call with an overpair, he's probably going to get all of Ed's money. But do you get involved here, George?
How much did Ed bet?
You bet 500. You bet about a pot-sized bet.
Against Ed, I don't know. You're gonna get paid if you hit the queen or the ace.
Yeah, but if you raise and he has an overpair,
No,
and he has
there's
a
no
pair, there's no fold
there's no fold. There's no fold. Any.
Not gonna get involved.
I mean, it's either you call or fold.
Yeah.
That's one of the rare instances I don't mind a call right there. Just a spike and ace or king, ace or queen.
Yeah. You can see there, Zhang's got that 5,000.
Wow. So Ed wins the pot and wins about 500 from each person in the pair game. So Trish is getting hammered. She's lost so much in the pair game now. She can't win a hand.
Yeah.
Thank you. The more you love the kid, the more he insults.
Email here from Med Crew. Thanks for the email. Logan McDonald. Thank you. Again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Follow a thread over on 2plus2. 2plus2.com spelled out. Click on forums. Tournament poker, televised poker. Ace King for Amir. Pocket nines for Barry.
The other time I thought
Barry's going to pop it up here out of the blind. He's going to make it 40. Quick call here by Amir. 240. Now, Zhang has got... Might he have a playable hand if both Barry and Amir are deep? He's in position. I mean, these guys are both deep, and they're both kind of apt to pay off.
If that was
make
a
big
suited
hand.
6-7, I'd say yes.
Yeah.
But with a non-suited 6-7, I think wait for a better spot.
And Amir's hit it. And look at what the flop would have brought out here, George. King
Wow.
6-7. And I got to tell you, I don't know if Amir gets away from it. Now, Barry was the pre-flop
You
raiser.
mean Barry gets away with?
No, I mean Amir. Amir's got ace-king here. Barry bets. I think if you're in there with 6-7, Barry would have bet. Amir would have raised.
Amir has the best hand.
Right. Yeah, Amir's got the
Okay,
best
you
hand.
said Amir gets away from it. You
Yeah,
mean-
I don't know if Amir would have gotten away from it if you're in there with 6-7.
Oh,
That's
absolutely
my
not.
point.
Absolutely not.
And Amir just calls. Just a call. Barry, that's about 350, and Amir calls. And the turn now is a king, and now 6-7's garbage.
That could be a problem for Barry because now do you put Amir on a king right now?
And Barry's going to keep betting.
Oh, this would be just a great
How about a little min raise here
little
from
min
Amir?
raise, yeah.
Build yourself a little pot here. Pot is now about, I want to say about 2,900 for Amir to call.
Now, do you think? I mean, you could just call this.
I think you got to maybe build yourself a pot. He calls again, and maybe Barry thinks Amir's got a 7 here. Well, see, the river's now an overcard to Barry's hand. If he had 8-9, he gets there. I think it's almost a little bit of an action killer. Barry's going to bet out again here.
Oh, and Amir.
He bets about 1,000 again. He bets about maybe half the pot. It's about a $3,000 pot, 1,000 to call.
You can't give Barry credit for 8-9. He's
Yeah.
the pre-flop raiser.
Well, yeah, but now Amir raises, and again, like you said, once that king came on the turn, it's a bad card for Barry, and we always talk about why slow play. The 10 is an action killer.
Understand if Amir doesn't slow play there, he doesn't get any money from Barry on the turn. Barry will muck that hand.
You think so?
Absolutely. He's a good enough player. He knows.
You think if Amir made a min raise there, Barry would
Yes.
fold the way he's playing tonight?
Yes. He folds. I played with Barry many times in home games and
right.
live, and he will
Maybe
get
I'm not giving him enough credit. The only point I'm bringing up is the 10 is obviously the logical draw complete, or it's obviously another overcard. to
I
the
don't
nines.
think so. It's the logical draw complete. Remember, you raised it pre-flop and you got called. You're not going to get called by 8-9.
You don't think Amir would call with 8-9
In
suited?
that position with someone else in the pot? No. 8-9 suited, yes, but you give him credit for always the suited cards. I mean, you're asking for a lot.
One day
You're asking for the perfect card on the river, on a paired board. I don't know. I don't think so.
Limped around here 5 ways. King 8 Jack here with a couple of spades.
No, we can't always agree, right?
No, absolutely not. It's a great discourse. You're actually probably agreeing with me more than Tuckman does.
Oh, really?
The turn's a 10. Now, Zhang's got a straight here. Ace 9.
And
he checked it.
You've got to bet.
Whoa,
and
look at
and
this.
even Isaac in the booth has like thrown his hands up in
Double
disgust
suited
right here.
board, and the river is the 8 of diamonds, but nobody backed into a flush now. That is, and he checked it again.
And now what do you do? I mean, now
I mean,
you
it's
can't.
not a one-liner to a queen.
There's a backdoor flush. There's a board is double paired.
Wow.
And you make absolutely no money on it. Wow.
King and Jack.
Does he know he has a straight?
Unbelievable, huh?
Did he muck his hand?
He mucked the hand. He mucked his hand. He didn't know he had a straight.
Did we have it? In there
Yeah,
correctly?
because if he had the 8, he did not know he had a straight. That's why. We've seen it happen. It's a rarity on the show. He didn't know he had a straight. It's a great zoom in there, my eye.
Ray, would it be okay if you could go tell him? Is that all right? Go tell him
We try not to involve ourselves. We've seen it happen before. I mean,
it happens, but
Yeah.
I mean, rule number 1 is know what cards you have. I don't know.
yeah.
We saw Mike do that a few weeks back, right, when he called an all-in with 3 high. Not quite the
Wait a
same.
minute.
but-
What was the board there? Are we making a mistake? The board was King 10 Jack 8-8. Was it King 10 Jack 8-8? Maybe we made a
queen,
mistake.
No queen?
Yeah, I think maybe we both misread it,
Ah.
George. We're the idiots. Got a raise here by
I
Allen with
can't really
pocket
see
queens.
the board up there anyways.
I think actually we made a
Someone
mistake.
tell us we made a mistake. Right?
Yeah, we can see it on the delay. Now look at this. Allen raises with queens. Ed re-raises to 600 with 10s. And Allen just calls. And we could get a monster pot here. 1,200 to the flop.
And Amir's in there with a king?
Oh, look at this. Ragged boards. Both players have overpairs here. It's a $1,200 pot. And it goes check, check.
And a 9.
Oh,
a 9
it
makes
turns
that
a
a straight.
5.
And now, Alan, you're going to bet when the straight gets there. That's great. You got to love that.
Bet 600 now.
You got to love it. Yet again, how to play queen so badly and pretty much get paid the max right here unless a straight.
And then look at this. A straight on the board. It's a 4th spade. This one's going to get chopped up. Allen bets
Wouldn't
again.
you love Ed to raise right here? This would be great. Putting Alan to the test.
Allen bet 700 into about a $2,500 pot.
And you
There's a
can't- you
straight on
cannot-
board here.
What if Ed's going to lay it? No, you cannot possibly lay this down 700 into a $2,500 pot. Come on.
Well, it is kind of a weakish bet. I don't know exactly what you put Allen on here. Maybe
Well,
he's got
he
pocket
bet-
9s or a
He
flush.
bet the turn. So if he had it, he had it, and then you called, and now the 4 comes, changes absolutely nothing, because if he had it before, he's got it now, it's a call. Better yet, raise.
Race to get him off the chop.
Yeah, get him off the chop. But Alan's going to call if he raises. But
You wonder if Ed realizes there's a straight on board here.
if I shout loud enough, would Ed call me? Hear me?
And is he going to lay it down?
No.
It's a $700 bet on the river.
You don't have pocket 10s, Ed. You have a straight. There you go, buddy.
Well, I think he realizes he's asking Allen if he has a 9.
Show him one.
Show one. If I was Alan,
And
I'd
Allen
show.
showed him 1. He showed him a queen.
That's great.
But remember, now you know Allen called a raise and a re-raise. Would he be in there with queen 9? It's not. Is he showing the queen of spades, though? I don't know if we can zoom in here. Yeah, he's showing the queen of spades, and Ed folds. And then Allen turns over the other hand.
How to play queens to get paid off? I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
I thought he has the 9. He raised me pre-flop, so I put him on over there.
And that's the issue. That's what Mike said. Do you really think he would call 600 with queen 9? The only thing that you got to think
but
is maybe
Ed-
it's a flush.
Yeah, a flush. A flush
Yeah.
is more realistic than a queen 9. Like a king queen or jack queen suited.
I didn't put him on straight for sure.
And again, I'm going to actually watch the replay here on my computer and see if we're the bozos with that hand.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I will, but I just
Saved off 1,100 bet.
Button moves over here to seat 9. Well, again, maybe, you know, if he showed the queen of diamonds, then I think you could easily call.
Yeah. No, that was the
Yeah.
correct card to show the two.
Well, Allen's got ace king of diamonds this time.
But you gotta love Ed. He shows him the queen of spades and he says, "I thought the other one was a 9."
Yeah. Raise and a re-raise
And
to
not a
600.
flush.
Now, Ed is raised at 200 more here. Out of the blind with queen 9 of hearts. And is Allen going to pull the limp raise? How about a little push here by Allen with ace king of diamonds? No, he just calls.
Oh boy, oh boy.
And this pot is going to be 1, 2,
And
3,
Kenny's
4,
got
5
ace
ways.
10
Change it. Let me hit the flop one time.
suited.
This pot now is $1,500. Ed raised out of the blind with queen 9. Allen's got the ace king. Here we go. Oh, wow. Ed's got top pair. Look at Trish's hand. She's got a flush draw and a gut shot, but Alan's got the nut flush draw with overcards. We could have all the money in 3 ways here. Trish leads out with her big draw.
And Trish is
And what does Ed does?
absolutely
Did
crushed
Ed
tonight.
call here, or did he raise? He just called. And what is Alan going to do?
You got to put in a raise right here. You got 2 overcards to the board
He just called.
and a flush draw.
$800 3 ways.
You got to love this.
$3,000 pot. The turn's a king. Alan now has the best hand. Trish needs an offsuit 7 here, and an offsuit 7 only.
And are you going to raise now, Alan?
It's a $4,000 pot. She bets 800 here on the turn. Kind of a weak bet. And you know there's no way Alan's going anywhere here. The only thing that Trish can catch here is 3 of the remaining offsuit 7s.
Oh, and Ed's called in
And Ed
between.
calls in the middle.
And
And Alan calls. Ed is still drawing live here. Pot is $6,500 to the river, and the river's a 3, and Alan's going to win it here with ace-king. Let's see if Trish gives up.
with 2 people behind you calling, you've got to just let it go. It's not been her night at all. Wow.
I don't know if she's got enough to get Alan off of this hand.
No.
She's going to bet 3,000 here. She bets 3,000 into 2 guys that have the propensity to call. It's about a half pot size bet.
I can't see Ed calling.
She's made 3 stabs at it. It's going to be about a $9,500 to $10,000 bet. Now, here's the interesting question. If Ed calls in the middle, will Alan over? Ed folds, and let's see what Alan's going to do here.
I think Alan's going to call this. Even though it's against, I would lay this hand down. No doubt about it. Trish has not played a hand all night. She's never been out of whack.
Alan's getting over 3.5 to 1 here. He was on the diamonds, though. Can you really think?
But he missed.
Can you
He
really
missed.
think that 1 pair is good against Trish? Like you said, you would lay it down here.
She's bet. I think you would too.
And will Trish pull off one of the biggest bluffs she's ever done? And Alan's going to fold the king.
Then you gotta call.
Let's see here. Alan said, I put you on ace queen, so is he going to call?
So if you put it on ace queen, you got to call, right, Alan?
Even this doesn't make much.
Well, Alan hasn't mucked it yet. It's a $10,000 pot, 3,000 to call. Is he going to talk himself into it here, George?
You think Mike helped him talk himself into it? I think Mike thinks that Mom has him beat right now.
Yeah. I think
And
Mike
trying
thinks
to get Alan
to call for value.
call for value, but he's going to call and take. No. All right, no.
He
Lay
hasn't done
down.
anything here yet, George.
Lay down, Alan.
And he
Yes,
mucked it.
Trish.
And Trish shows the
Round
bluff.
of applause.
She shows the bluff there. Wow. She fired 3 times. I didn't think that the bet on the river might not have been enough to get Alan off the hand.
Didn't think you had it in you, Trish.
Wow.
Didn't think you had it in you, Trish. I'm going to have to go out there and give her a big fat wet kiss.
Unbelievable.
What a play indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, here's Mom teaching son something. Huh?
Unbelievable. I mean, she obviously had a
Okay, go
big
ahead.
draw.
Yeah. Nice hand. Jesus.
George.
I had to bet big.
I had the queen ace. I thought you had queen ace. That's why I said I'm going to pot this.
Button moves over here to seat 9.
See this play?
I think George just went out and congratulated Trish there.
How about me, George?
So she let out with a big draw, and she fired 3 bullets, and she made it. She made the bluff and got Alan to lay down the ace-king.
I had to, man. It was like, Jesus Christ.
Kim, Button moves here again to seat 9, Alan's hand.
I know
I'm thinking she's going to bluff this. She's got to bet
And Majid there, Majid, come into seat 2.
Thinking about it, but I said, you know,
It's like skiing through a forest.
And I've played with Majid quite a few times lately. He's a tight player.
cashing more money.
Normally doesn't get out of line too much.
Limped
That's
around
the
here.
only thing I can do is shoot my way out of it.
Ace
Yeah.
queen.
Ace queen?
Wow,
That's
you
why
had
I
ace
thought
queen?
that. Yeah, that's why I thought you had ace queen. That's why I said I would split the pot with you.
Limp here. Action's on Trish. I don't know if she knows it's her turn.
What do you think she had?
Yeah.
I don't even know if the dealer knows where the action is. That's what sometimes bothers
No,
me.
it's a good lay down. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know what she had. But I shoot my
Wait.
And Tricia's going to raise.
200.
She's going to make it 200 to go here.
I mean,
What a play.
it was a good lay down. Alan. Yeah,
240. You said
Yeah, George, we misread that hand here. Ace 9.
yeah, no.
Guy did not have a straight.
Oh, it was missing the queen. Huh?
Yeah. Now Tricia's raised it up here to 200 with Ace King.
Let's get off that subject.
Let's play this hand. Let's play this
Whatever
hand.
he says
Okay, what are you doing?
applies to me. Whatever he says.
And Tricia's going to take it down there.
If I had 10,000,
And now Alan lost that hand before because he didn't raise on the flop. He didn't raise on the turn, and then let himself get bluffed out
Yeah.
as a consequence.
when you bet too, when I show my hand,
You did think that. Come on.
so you don't collect this, so it's going to be only 77.
So that's a collection pot, but it's got to be over a certain amount.
I didn't win the collection pot. I just won the blinds.
Yeah. Trish does not owe the collection pot.
No, there wasn't enough money in there.
And again, it's got to be over 600.
Next hand, it wasn't even on the collection pot.
Got to be over 600 in the pot.
Yeah.
She said. Jeez. We go retroactive for collection pot?
No, the only collection pot in that big pot.
No, it wasn't.
Yes. That's why he said he paid to different.
I didn't think it was.
Limp here, limp by Kenny, limp by Barry.
And you know?
One big pot, yes.
Alan's going to limp here with 8-5.
Wow.
Boy, Trish doesn't play many big bluffs there, George. Like you said, you and I probably would have folded there.
I would have
We'd
laid
probably
it down.
put our set
But
or
I-
something, right?
But you and me both
Right
would
off the
have bet the flop, would have bet the turn. I think
Well,
it
we
would
would
have
have
been the
played
end
the
of
Ace
it.
King of Diamonds.
Yeah, a lot different.
And Ed is going to raise it here out of the blind with pocket jacks.
I mean, I don't mind the lay down by Alan at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he can lay that hand down, it's just
Kenny is called here with King Queen, and we're heads up here for about $600.
Oh.
Wow, look at this! Kenny flops a straight, and Ed's got middle set. What an action flop! And Kenny is not going to slow play it. Ed checks, and both players, we got a bet by Kenny, and Ed just calls. He thinks he's slow playing a monster here.
No, it's so close.
And the turn's a third heart now. And might that kill some of the action? Well, Kenny's going to continue to bet with his made straight on the flop.
and Ed's got the redraw to the jack.
But might Ed not check raise here because it's a third heart? He just check calls again. He could catch a heart or the board pairing here. Over a $2,000 bot.
Kenny's going to go broke, you know.
And the river's a 7. And Kenny here has got the goods. He's going to make a nice value bet here on the river.
I think Ed thinks he's good.
I think Ed thinks he's slow playing, and he bets 400. And I think Kenny is going to raise him here. It's a $400 bet. Doesn't look like Kenny has a whole lot here. The pot is now about $2,500. Kenny's got about 800 left. I think it's an easy push here.
It's an easy push,
This is an easy push here for Kenny.
and he's going to get called.
He's going to move it in.
600 more.
Well, he's going to raise 600 more. He's keeping like 100 on the 200
And
on
maybe
the
that's a
table.
psychological thing, though, because
Yeah.
I mean, to say all in is a lot more powerful than
Michael pay.
And again, I don't think Ed's putting him on, and Ed is going to make the call here. Kenny's going to take down over a $3,500 pot.
Poor Ed. Even when he hits a
Flopping
monster
nuts.
hand, even when he flops a monster hand, he still can't.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well,
Wow.
I got to give credit there to Kenny at least. I mean, he's kind of had slow play-itis tonight.
Yeah.
At least he knows to value bet Ed there.
Right.
I mean, there's so many scary things that come out that kill your hand there with King Queen. Remember, you're not scared that Ed's going to beat you out with a flush. But if Ed's got something like a set of tens or a set of jacks, and all of a sudden now the turn's a queen, he only has a bluff catcher now, right?
Right.
So one liner to a straight. Now, of course, everyone's catching up to the fact that that was not a straight with the ace-9. Sorry about that, folks. We are doing the show live. Sometimes we do make mistakes. Yeah, exactly. Let's get the commentators that can read the cards, right? It's George.
I guess
He's
I'm-
pulled me off the game tonight.
I'm out.
Big blind, please.
But moves over here to seat 2.
Blind, please.
Too late to straddle? I'm not straddling. We'll play different.
Zhang here is in the big blind. And Mike is not going to straddle here, George. Got about 45 minutes left in the show. And again, you know, Barry Wood, he's played good about 90% of the time. There's two hands that I think he really played it pretty badly, and then
Yeah.
it just kind of slopped over into the next hand. 2 hands right in a row.
Right, and I wouldn't be surprised if Barry's down at this point, and that's all it takes, folks. 1, 2 hands a night,
Yeah.
and you've been playing perfect poker besides, and you're down.
6 plays.
6-way action here. Jack 4-8. It's limped around pre-flop. Looks like Allen's got the king high flush draw here. And Amir is going to bet with the queen high flush draw.
300.
$300 bet. Allen has a middle pair and the king high flush draw. A bet and a call. Now, Amir's in real bad shape here. Because if he catches a king, Allen's got 2 pair. He needs a queen and a queen only. A club is no good either. The turn's a jack.
See if Amir can use this, but he's out of position also.
It's about a $1,000
I'll
pot.
take a stab at it.
And he's going to continue to bet.
I don't think Allen doesn't care about that board pair enough.
600.
$600 pot. $600 bet. Pot is now $1,600, $600. Allen's a huge favorite here.
Allen just
And
doesn't,
Allen
doesn't
calls.
care.
And will Amir make another bluff at it on the river? And the river's a 9. Can Amir continue to bet? And I think Amir has given up. And king 8 here is good. Yep. I mean, inherently the problem with Allen's game is, he's basically, I never really like to chase bluffs across the heart and nuts either, right?
Right.
I mean, you
right,
even know if you're good there.
right.
Although you got to think if Amir bets one more time,
Let,
Allen's
let,
gonna
al-
fold.
let alone chasing them when there's a paired board,
Yeah.
you know.
I think I'm lucky.
But to his credit, he does chase them and doesn't raise them.
Well, Allen is
That's what
never
I'm
raising. That's probably, inherently the problem with his game. He's check calling too much. If he ever did raise on the come, people would give him credit for something because he never does it.
Sure.
When he's calling, he's on some sort of draw. It's so obvious, George. Limp here by Allen. Zhang is going to limp in. And Mike has played kind of a more conservative game tonight, hasn't he? 3-way action here. Jack 5-5. It misses everybody. See if Mike is going to lead out here, and that's probably going to do it. He's going to bet 120. Wait a minute. Allen is going to call with king high here. Does he think the king high is good, or is he trying to catch backdoor clubs?
Is he trying to put a play on Mike for the 3rd time?
This would be great if a 9 comes, because it would make Mike stick in there. Well, the turn's a 10. Mike checks. He's picked up an open-ended straight draw now. Now, if Allen will ever bet here...
And a lot of the good players do this. When they actually pick up a hand, a big hand, a big drawing hand like this.
Check on the turn.
Yeah, instead of betting, they check.
River's the deuce of spades, and Mike gives up. And that might put Mike a little bit on tilt. Allen's going to win it with king high.
Wow. And there it is. It took 2 hours into the game tonight, but there it is. Goes in with nothing.
I just thought that if a 9 comes, Mike's going to get himself involved. He's probably going to bet
Yeah,
again,
he
but
probably
Allen's
would.
kicker's going to play on a
Absolutely.
paired board. So he really would have been pissed off. Oh, man.
I turned to open it straight.
Yeah, Allen.
And that's why actually Mike didn't bet. 'Cause he actually turned a card, turned a good
Right.
good draw.
Get a free card by checking to Allen.
Oh, God.
Pocket 9s here for Allen. He limps in. And Mike's got ace-queen here. Mike raises. He makes it 200. Allen makes a quick call. And Trish is going to overcall. Mike's got Trish dominated. 3-way action here. It's about a $700 pot. Allen with the best hand here. And Trish outflops him with the ace-10. Mike bets. I don't think Allen's going anywhere. It's a little $500
Just one
bet.
overcard? No, Allen's balling.
$500. He's definitely going to call Mike. The issue now, though, is if Trish raises when Allen calls. Might Trish raise here if Allen calls? It is a very draw-heavy board. Let's see what Trish is going to do. Yeah, she's going to raise. That's probably going to get Allen out of the hand. Although Trish just showed that bluff down a couple hands ago.
Sure.
500 more. Mike's out. Mini raise here.
Fucking pot. One fucking day, huh?
So just a little mini raise. Yeah, Allen's not going to get involved here.
And I got to say about Allen, he doesn't have much of an ego problem as far as, all right, Trish buffed me out. Next hand, I'll lay down just as easily,
Yeah.
He doesn't get involved when he knows he shouldn't, at least in that case.
You know, this is an interesting question. We get this question all the time. You can see that $5,000 chip. Because, George, you do play the 10-20 game. Now, I know you've been haven't been playing as much during the World Cup and stuff, but we always get this question. Med Crew has asked, let's say I want to play the 10-20 no-limit game on a regular basis. And let's take into account that I don't have any other job. What kind of bankroll do I need? You know, do you need to have some living expenses plus a poker bankroll, like maybe 6 months living expenses?
I think that's a good idea to have at least 6 months. And it kind of depends how that a 10-20 game here at the bike.
Plays pretty big, doesn't it?
Plays pretty big.
Commerce, yeah.
I think at least I'd say about 20,000.
That's it, 20,000.
Yeah, you think you could play if you're a conservative player.
Wow. Man, I was thinking more like 80 or 100,000.
No, if you're
20,000 in a 10-20 game.
You could play it 20,000.
10 buy-ins.
Well, you're going to stick all 20,000 there at once?
Barry bets out here.
It's a 1,000 game. You're going to put 3,000 there.
Barry bets out here with deuce 4. He's got an open-ended straight draw. Allen calls with ace deuce, and Barry's going to continue to bet out with the draw, and Allen's out of there. I mean, sometimes we talk about 6 months of living expenses and 30 buy-ins. Now, if you buy in for $2,500 in that game, that would be about $75,000. If your normal buy-in was $2,500 in that game. 10 buy-ins, man. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't play it like that, in my own opinion.
Really?
Man, I know you're a conservative player. Let's take a look at another chip count here. 53,700 on the table. Mike is leading the table here with 12,000. Let's take a look at the differences.
I mean, I think you can do it for that, 20,000.
And Zhang is even. He's only even here. Ed's down. Look at this. Ed is pretty much contributed to
Ed's
the table.
the only loser of the night, huh?
And Allen's up 4,500. He's the big winner here.
I believe that.
Yeah. He would have been one more if you made that call against
That was a
Trish.
huge pot.
Mike's going to raise it up here with ace-5. And Barry Woods has ace-king. Just a smooth call. Now, if this board comes out rags, will Barry check call with ace-king? That's the question. If Barry doesn't hit anything, will he take one off? I mean, that is such a bad flop for the ace of spades, king of hearts. All diamonds. Mike outflops him. $400 bet here by Mike. And maybe what saves Barry here is there's 3 diamonds on board. I mean, I wonder if that flop came out there and it was rainbow, would Barry take one off? We always talk about the danger of that. If the ace comes, Mike's got aces up. Barry's going to get away from it. And Mike takes it down. Got a little over a half an hour left in the show.
And there's the problem playing this game when Corporation Mike's in the hand. He raises up. You got ace-king. You're in bad position. And now you basically got a hit. And generally, you're not going to hit on the flop with an ace-king.
Yep.
So, I mean, that time he did outflop Barry, but usually they're just not going to hit anything. You're going to lay that hand down.
Now look at this. Great post here, what you talk about, George. Bogus Rogus on 2+2, talking about that hand with Allen. It says, exposing yourself to that bluff is a direct result of not raising your strong draws. No way she bluffs if he raises the flop or the turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you know, that's Allen, though. He plays it so as a calling station, right?
Absolutely.
5-7 deuce here, rainbow is lived around. Trish is going to come out and bet here. She's going to bet 100 here with queen 5. And Zhang is going to call with 4s.
And Mike is going to raise it here.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
He just calls.
Oh, how you can?
And that's going to bring Allen in here. And if Mike catches 2 pair, Allen's got the nut straight. Here we go to the turn. Well, the turn's a deuce. Mike is still in the lead. And you got to think, if Trish checks here and Zhang checks, Mike's probably going to fire.
Yep.
You know, maybe Mike thinks his mom's got 6-8 here or something like that. The pot is about $700 here.
Everybody check.
Mike is eating some edamame. What is that? What are those things called? Edamames, kind of soybean.
Is that from Yoshi's?
Yeah, sushi place. Got Yoshi's just opened up here. Mike bets 400 here. And Zhang is going to call, and he is way behind here. And here we go to the river. And the river's a king. This is probably going to go check, check.
You think John's going to fire and just pretend
What is
like
he trying
has?
to represent?
Yeah, you can't really put him on a deuce since he just.
Well, I gotta, my question to you though is that somebody asked to see the hand. Mike's going to take it down. Would you ever? And here again, we talk about river betting. Would you ever bet 7-6 there? Because I don't necessarily think that Zhang is going to check raise me on a missed draw. Do you try to get a 7 out? You're not concerned about your kicker because everyone's going to play a king. Would you get a call from a 5? Or in this case, would you get a call from Zhang with pocket 4s? If Zhang was in there with a 5. Because I'm not concerned about my kicker. I know if he's got a 7, we're going to chop it, right? Now that the king comes on the river. Yeah, it's very advanced, but it's just...
Now, if you hit with the river bet and with the value bet, if
Yeah.
you think, you got to know that your hand's good, first of all. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Or you got to know that the other guy has a good enough hand that he's going to call what you're going to bet. Now, do you think a player like John, and what he showed today, which is basically just the nuts every time, is going to call if you bet? Probably not. He's going to bet if he has you beat.
I don't know. I don't know if he would have
You
called
could do
Mike
that
with
against
4s.
Ed. You can do that against Barry. You can even do that against.
He might call specifically Mike, though, George, because of Mike's image. Yeah, Mike might try to make it look like I was
Maybe.
betting 6-8.
Maybe.
I mean, it would just be...
As you can understand, I don't really judge a poker player just by how much money he's able to get more money on the river through value betting. It's an additional way to make a couple bucks, a couple $100 in this case in a game like this, but that's not definitive of a poker player.
Barry's going to bet 120. He's flopped top set here. It was limped around. I don't think anybody's going to call. Wow. Is Zhang going to set up a play here? Because he doesn't have anything.
It looks like the only thing it could be is a play.
The turn is a king. And it goes check, check, and the river's a 4, and Barry fills up now.
Now, I don't mind that check. I don't
Barry's
mind
actually
that check.
induced a bluff here.
Beautiful.
$500 bet here. I mean, he had absolutely nothing on the flop there. Did not have a club draw. And I assume that Barry's going to raise. Min raise here. Makes it 500 more. Obviously, Zhang has absolutely nothing.
Good idea there by Zhang against a player that would normally lay it down, but in this case, Barry's pretty much got the nuts.
I got to tell you, though, I mean, you say you don't mind the check, but from what we see here, George, Zhang calls with 5-10, okay? He is obviously setting up a play. Now that Barry,
They don't know that.
I understand that, but I'm saying if Barry had bet the turn, he would have made more money. Because Zhang was obviously setting up a play, right? He didn't have anything.
How do you know you're going to make more money and John's not going to fold?
What did he call the flop with?
It
With
doesn't
5
matter.
of clubs.
He's waiting to see if you're going to check, if you're going to actually represent.
I mean,
But if you don't check, then you don't give him any ideas whatsoever. You're like, all right, this guy's got me. Maybe, I mean,
and I'm not picking on Barry Woods to be hard on him. I'm just saying I'm always a big fan of building myself a pot on the turn. It allows me to get myself to, it allows somebody to try to make a move against me. And I think in that case, that's what C4 was trying to do. He was trying to make a move against Barry.
I understand, but from Barry's point of view, John's a type player. All right, fine, he called with pocket 4s. That's all he's seen all night. And he's like, okay, the board is totally unconnected. There's no flush draws there. He must have something, so let him catch up. I've got the nuts, pretty much.
Now,
I thought Barry played that perfectly, to be honest.
we get a raise here by Trish with ace king of clubs at his call with jack 10 of spades. Well, Ed's got overcards and a gut shot to the 8 here. Trish doesn't have anything, but she's pretty good about making the continuation bet. She bets 500, and Ed is going to call. And sometimes you just have absolutely no idea what Ed is calling with, right?
Usually.
I mean, he could have bottom pair here. Is Ed pretty much all in here?
No, I know.
Turns a queen. And the river's a 3, and Trish is going to win it here with ace king.
Eddie's asking if he has a flush.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's great. It's great actually to get a fresh perspective in here about this, and I think maybe David and I because we've been doing it so long together, you know, we tend to commentate in
But
one
here's the
specific
thing.
style. So it's good to have some disagreement.
Here's the thing. If you always do the same thing and always do it the same way without mixing it up at all,
Yeah.
people are going to latch onto that. Sooner or later they will. I know you bet draws. I know Dave bets draws. I know you bet your hands, and I know. So I'm not going to get too involved because I know I won't get paid off. But if I do, maybe if I hit my draw, maybe you've hit a bigger one. But if I'm on a draw and I know that you have the propensity of hitting that draw, I may raise you. And then what?
We've got about half an hour left in the show. It's been pretty exciting. Always is with this type of lineup. Limped around here, 3 ways.
3 players.
King, Jack, Deuce here. This has pretty much missed everybody.
100.
And Trisha's going to bet 100. Make another bluff at it here.
Oh, she takes advantage of position.
She takes it down. And it brings up, the point about, you know, maybe David and I sometimes give some players on the table a little bit too much credit when we talk about river betting. The value of not necessarily have to showing your hand down. That in itself might have some value. Just being able, because George, if I can see somebody's river betting patterns when they only bet a monster or a bluff, but if I also see a guy bet a very marginal value bet, like if Mike had bet 6-7 there at the end with that hand. Well, now when Mike bets the river, I really don't know what the hell he has if he's capable of making a marginal value bet.
And you make a very valid point, but my point is you're still going to mix it up. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Now, what side of the fence did I fall today on this hand that I'm in with this guy who's made a value bet? Is it a value bet, isn't it? I don't know.
Majid here just limped in here. Just going to bet out on the ace. It's going to take it down.
I actually saw, I know you think Arvo's a very good player. I think he's a very good player, one of the best that plays it live at the bike.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I saw him a couple of weeks back actually check on the river when he had a full house and not put a value bet in.
When you were playing against him live?
I wasn't actually in the game. I watched it from home.
In this game, you mean?
Yeah. He had a full house on the river.
Yeah, I think David and I kind of hammered him for that. I think. I don't know if I'm thinking of the same hand. I'm not sure. You know, it's funny. Obviously, with poker, everything depends. I think you got to obviously look against the player that you're betting. I don't think there are many people that are capable of making a check raise bluff on the river. I would say maybe less than 5% of the pool of several hundred players that come on the show regularly can make that move. Now, Mike can make the move for sure. You know, I would be less likely to make a marginal value bet on the river against Mike if we're both deep, because I think he might snuff it out and he might really put me to the test.
Right.
But you know, against Alan, is Alan going to make a check raise? Bluff at it on the river?
Not with any substantial amount that's going to mean anything.
Right. Yeah.
Don't have it yet, but we have it out.
Limped around here 4 ways.
4 players.
So it's a $160 pot. Queen 3-4 here. Well, Amir's got that, like I said, he's got that 2-gapper open-ended straight draw. Zhang is going to come out and bet with a flush draw. He's going to bet 180. Now, I would chase this if I had deuce 5 if it was a rainbow board. If Amir hits the straight here and it's a diamond, it's no good.
Good thing that I like about Amir's hand is you might be thinking that, John's got there now.
Yep.
He's got to redraw to the straight flush. But if it comes on the ace side, and maybe you put the guy on an ace, or generally what they play, and maybe ace-queen, you're going to get paid. So, but I'm sure Amir's done at this point. There's just far too many hands that can.
$400 bet here by Zhang. I mean, is Amir going to continue to chase here? He's got the 5 of diamond draw. I mean, now a straight draw is just garbage here, right? I mean, he is drawn stone cold dead.
I haven't seen Amir get out of line at all. Good late on.
Again, I brought it up earlier when you talk about that hand. Obviously, what screams out to you as a straight draw with queen 3-4 there, if a 7 comes George, and I'm chasing deuce 5, can I put a good player to the test? Because they might think I have 5-6. But now if a 6 comes or an ace comes, you know, and I make a big raise, so they're thinking, well, what is he doing? Just raising me with 5-6, a pair, and now a straight draw. Probably doesn't have a main hand.
Right.
Some people discount that 2-gap or open-ender, say
Right.
top and bottom open-ender.
In a cash game, I like the two gap, but for no raise, but in a tournament again, totally different.
Well, I just don't think you're deep enough, obviously, to be making those
Right.
speculative calls pre-flop. So when are you going down to Vegas?
I think, well, my plans have changed slightly. I think I'm heading down there possibly for the $5,000
Yeah.
event. It comes up, I think, on Tuesday. And if I don't get down there by then, the next No Limit, the ones that aren't rebuy event, I think
Yeah.
it's on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, or is it Saturday? And I'll be down there for that. So,
Ace-Jack offsuit here. Majid is just limped in. Allen completes. We're going to see it 3 ways. All 3 players have jacks in their hand.
probably won't see a jack, huh?
3 players.
There's 3 flush on board here. King 6-3. And everybody checks. Turns another king. Ace-Jack here with the jack club draw here is good. Check
Yeah.
around once again.
And you think Majid should,
Well, someone takes a shot at it. Ace-Jack is going to win here.
That's right.
Ace.
he's high.
Yeah, I'm feeling really confident about my tournament Omaha play. You know, I like to play no limit tournaments as well, but I'm actually going to take. I was going to play on Friday, and I think it's a $2,000 no limit, but I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to spend an extra weekend in LA, just kind of refresh myself and really gear up. I don't want to burn myself up too much for Monday and Thursday of next week, which is a $2,000 Omaha event.
Are you not going to play any no limit events?
I am afterwards, but not right
Okay.
before here. Going to.
Okay.
I'm going to Vegas a second time. I'm coming back. I'm going for a week, coming back, then going, and then I'm going to play in a couple no limit events, and then another. I'm really psyched for the $5,000 Omaha event. A lot of chips, in a limit tournament, a lot of play time. Mike raises it up here with Ace King, and he's going to take it down. I mean, not to sound so conceited, but I know I'm not one of the. I might not even be one of the better no limit tournament players out there. In terms of the pool, I might not even be one of the better ones. I haven't had a lot of success in no limit tournaments. But
and I don't think you are. But sometimes, I mean, you're talking about seasoned professionals that have got, 10, 20 years on you in that, even in that game. Even though you play a lot online, it's just not the same.
But the point is that I think I am there though with
Yeah?
the Omaha split pot.
Okay.
That's the confidence. That's the kind of
Good.
confidence I have going in. So we got a raise here by Amir. Pocket jacks.
You think you're the shit on the Omaha High-Low, huh?
I don't even know. The funny thing about that is, get to this after this hand. Queen 9-4 here with a couple of hearts. Check to him. Well, actually, Mike's gonna come out here and he's gonna bet with middle pair. And who was the pre-flop raiser here? I'm getting word that
Not my hand.
was Mike. Mike was the pre-flop raiser. So Amir just smooth call with jacks, George. And he is going to just call here on this flop with jacks. Mike has the betting lead. The turn is at 10.
Now Amir's open-ended, so I don't think he's going away.
Mike's going to bet 600. And Amir is going to
And there was even a chance for Amir to bump
Maybe-
it up a little
yeah.
bit if he wanted to.
The river's an ace.
That's kind of a scary card for Amir, anyways.
Funny thing
But
for-
maybe for Mike also. I don't know if he slows down here. He probably knows he's got a bet to win at this point.
Pot's about 2,200. What always might scare you on the river here is, was Amir on the nut flush draw? And will he get off of a weak ace if he backed into it here? He bets 1,200.
Wow, this is very difficult call for Amir. How much is in the pot already?
The pot was about 2,000. It's a
$1,200
$3,200
is a
pot.
substantial.
And Amir's going to call, and Mike
And
knows
Mike
his beat.
knows he's beat.
Yeah.
And you think a $2,000 bet would have done it, or you think Amir calls still?
Well, Mike is, again, disappointed. How can you make that call?
His own collection. So it's
How can you make that call?
77 plus.
Well, anyways, the point I was making is I don't even think it's saying that much to say that you're the shit in Omaha, because people play the game so badly. Even the people that play the game regularly, that have been playing it for 20 years, they've been playing it for 20 years badly. And anybody who's familiar, I mean, it's just the nature of the split pot game. There aren't a lot of people out there that really know how to play the game.
I've played, I think, one split pot Omaha tournament in my life, and I can tell you that I am absolutely crap at that game. But I mean,
poker.
So I don't know what a good Omaha player is, really. I mean, like I said, I wish you the best of luck there. Come back with a bracelet, that'd be lovely. But I mean, there's bad beats there too.
Limped around here. We're going to see five-way action. Queen, queen, deuce, couple diamonds. Now Majid has got that dry flush draw that we talk about. Really nothing else going on. No other chance to improve his hand besides the flush. He's drawing to a low flush on a paired board. From up front, it's an easy check fold. He is in position here on the button.
And Trish bets.
Trish is just going to take a stab at it.
Trish bets with position right behind her.
But Majid calls on the button. Turns a deuce.
Oh, and now can she represent right here?
Well, she keeps betting
Oh,
check, and now Majid is going to bet. And he's going to take it down there. You know, we talk about mistakes, and so many people, you know, maybe not necessarily at this level, but especially in the 3 to 5 game, you know, they will check call all their money off with 5, 6 of diamonds there on that flop. And it's just garbage. It's an absolute garbage draw. Paired board, which obviously means there's no way you can improve to 2-pair.
Yeah.
You can't make a running 2-pair.
You're counterfeited already,
Yeah.
Before you even get there, you're counterfeited.
You're drawing to a low flush. And obviously, if you get there, you could be beat to a full house. Button moves over here to seat 4.
140.
Mike's going to raise it up here to 140. 5, 6 of clubs. Amir limped in here with ace-5 of diamonds.
But Amir's got position, so he's going to close.
Yep.
Flop.
Just in case you missed, I'm betting blind.
And Mike is going to bet 200 blind. Here we go to the flop. Jack 9-7. Well, that is totally missed Amir. Might you just pick a better spot here, George?
Yeah,
I mean,
you go on. You've got not even one club. You're done.
Now, again, to elaborate, you know, when we had Nate in this game, it was a couple of months ago. That's Neon on 2+2 for everybody out there on 2+2 land. Nate was telling me on the side about how he didn't think the games were going to be all that good around the World Series, the cash games at the 10, 20, no limit level and up, because they were going to be somewhat flooded with a lot of internet pros. And David was telling me that the games at the Bellagio and the Rio at the 10, 20 level and above were not that good. He did say that the 5-10 spread 500 to 1,000 buy-in at the Bellagio was a good game. And I said, well, why don't you just sit in that game?
Right.
I mean, why do you have to sit in a 10-20 game if it's shitty? I mean, why not just play in the 5-10 game? And he said he probably should have.
Now, is that a max? Is there a max buy-in on
max
that? There's a 1,000 max buy-in.
I don't think that's too bad, though. You're getting 100 times.
It's not horrible.
Ace Jack 4 here. Mike raised, and Barry's just going to throw a little bluff bet at it. Called it out of the blind. Mike raised it pre-flop. Barry called, and now Barry's just going to bluff it.
And I think this is where the chink in Barry's game is. I mean, pick a better hand than that.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
I don't know.
I'm going to raise just because I saw you.
See, I mean,
and Mike is going to make a bluff raise at it. I mean, Barry has absolutely nothing.
True story. I used to play 300 more. Pot limit Omaha. First time I learned how to play high only at Lake House. Yeah, I remember you playing. Guy called me $600 with nice bet, Bear. Can't beat 6 high.
You knew that was coming.
I got to tell you, that's a tell with Mike's hand because he always shows his big bluffs.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe we can get a shot of that guy. Needleman? Needles?
Pot limit high only. You called me with king high one night for like $800. Was it good? On the river, it was good.
I'm not familiar with that guy. Maybe somebody else is out there.
That must have been it. That's what I'm telling you.
Long-time poker player.
You make a bet, and I
Remember Jeff? Remember Jeff?
Yeah. What's up, Jeff? How are you, bud?
Looks like he's been around the block a
Yeah.
few times, huh?
You don't believe me. You been all right?
That's a long time, Donna. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Donna. Oh, man. Three-way action here, limped around. King, queen, 7 here with a couple of spades. Checked around, turns a queen.
Now, Alan calls from up front. It's folded down to you, and you've got ace-4 offsuit, and you complete for $10. I mean,
Well, actually, Alan limped under the gun with ace-9.
yeah, that's what I mean. There's only one other person in there.
And he wins it there with the ace-high. Dave also said that he was talking extensively with Gabe Kaplan at the Bellagio. Kaplan was playing the either 10-25 or 50-100 no limit. And Dave has a pretty good relationship with Gabe. Gabe is probably going to be coming on Live at the Bike for everybody out there who's into Gabe Kaplan. He has watched the show. He likes the show. I mean, excuse me, not Gabe Kaplan. Gabe Thaler. Big difference. Not Gabe Kaplan. Gabe Thaler.
Yeah, I still don't know who that is.
No, you didn't know who Gabe Kaplan was?
No.
Not a big American TV fan, huh?
No.
70s.
I like this guy's talk.
Gabe Thaler will hopefully be coming into Live at the Bike.
Non-stop, huh?
Three-way action here. We had a raise, I believe it was by Mike, with Jack 8. 4 deuce 4 here on the flop.
And Alan's got trip 4s.
Yep, Alan's got trip 4s.
And
He's
it's
got
against
Jack
Mike
4.
once again.
And Barry's got a straight draw, and Barry's going to raise on the come with a gut shot.
And now if you're Alan, what do?
Mike makes the $300 continuation bet. Barry raises Mike on the come to 900, and Alan's got trip 4s.
If I'm Alan right here on that board, I might just call.
Nice raise. Alan mine.
Alan is going to call, and I think Barry knows he is screwed. I think Barry needs to take the card here if it gets checked to him, George. The turn's a queen. Barry needs to take a card here.
And I don't doubt it's going to get checked to him.
Come on, what did Alan call you with, Barry? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I mean, I know I can see the cards, but come on.
And just put a 3 out there just for one time.
$1,500 bet and a call, and this pot is about
One time, put a 3 out
$6,000,
there.
and Alan makes a full house. And now he moves all in.
Oh, really?
Now he moves all in.
All
I'm going
right.
to tell you, I think that probably what Alan should have done was check it one more time to Barry on the river. I just don't see how you don't take a card there. What do you think Alan called?
Yep.
And that's what Mike is saying. That's what Mike is telling Barry.
He called a raise and
Yeah.
a re-raise, and you do not take the 3 card on the turn.
Yeah.
I mean, fine. If no one raised, then he's just fine.
100% on Jack 4. There's no doubt in my mind.
And that's what Mike is telling Barry. And Mike is 100% correct. Barry doesn't buy it, though, but Barry just made another mistake there.
I mean, and Allen's in the big blind anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
he could have anything. A
Yeah.
4 included. Jack 4 offsuit, definitely a...
I thought maybe you have pocket deuces.
If you had pocket deuces, Alan, you would find out about it.
Thank you, baby.
I forgot to play with you. Yeah, he did call raise, didn't he?
You forgot 2 things. Number 1,
It's Alan.
number 1, no, it was suited. Number 2, it's Alan. You should forget.
Alan says, number 1, it's suited, Jack 4. Number 2, that's Alan.
I have to say something.
Oh, man.
It's your turn. If you call Jack 4 suited, you're calling this hand. I don't care what.
Now, who you consider one of the weakest players you've played on a no-limit 5-10 or 10-20 game? There, Bob?
Reagan was president.
Well, now Mike has raised it here. I'll get to that in a second, George. Ace 8. And Alan, who called it with Jack 4 to a raise. This time he calls with 9-5 offsuit.
Maybe ace high.
Now, everybody has missed. Mike says maybe ace high is good. He bets 240. Now, Amir has got overcards and a gut shot. He calls. Alan's out of there. And this pot is quickly about $800. Mike is in real bad shape. Well, the turn's a 10. It's a double paired board. And look at this. They're probably going to chop it up.
Chop
Mike
pot
has got a
right now.
flush draw, though.
Mike is... I mean, unless a queen hits, an off queen is free rolling.
Well, a king would also do it for Amir, right?
All
Because he
right,
would make
king
it
also
straight.
makes it straight.
$600 bet here by Mike. Is Amir going to continue to call with ace high here?
I don't think so.
Hey, what do you got?
And he's right. He has him right now, but
I couldn't become
Mike shows the ace as well.
become famous with good poker player like you.
Sort of
Like
like reach across the
so I
table.
have to become
And again, like I said, Barry Woods, I kind of like to think of him like as the mascot of Live at the Bike. I think he respects my opinion. I think he's been playing really well the last few weeks. He's kind of made 3 mistakes with some hands that's cost him a lot of money. Like you said, it really only takes 1 mistake to lose a lot of money, right? Yeah. Let's take a look at the last chip count.
Barry, I think what Barry kind of feels. Oh, let's go through the chip count
Get to
first.
that thought in a second here. 54,000 on the table. Trish in the lead here with 11,500. Let's take a look at the differences. Ed's down 15. Barry's only down about $1,000 here, George. Allen is up 6,000. So, what were you saying? Finish that thought.
Yeah, I think what Barry believes is that in a session, in a 3-4 hour session like tonight, every now and then you got to bluff. And I'm not in agreement with that at all.
For once in my life.
Because he knows they go back and they watch these. And he wants to show a bluff from now and then.
Where's that guy?
Checked around on the flop. Checked around on the turn.
No one's good.
Tricia's got the best hand. She's checked the 8 here from up front. And the 8 is going to take it down.
That's good. I was waiting for him to do it, man. I would have been
I'm this close to it.
Alex, we're talking about the hand.
Ellen just keeps rubbing it in.
Lifestyle.
It needles you when you beat you in a pot.
I don't care what Barry wants to do to me. I'm ready for it.
Got a live straddle here by seat 5. I see this email here. Johnny J says he agrees with you, George. I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to. Maybe the hand against Allen. I'll get to it in a second here.
You got his chips on.
Yeah. Anytime he gives me chips, he can't tell few words.
Straddled pot, and it's limped around. Mike does not
5 players.
raise the straddle. 5-way action, which means it's a $400 pot. Jack 6 deuce. So Barry's got ace jack, and Allen's got a flush draw here. Oh
God
boy.
knows I didn't flop anything.
Barry bets 200.
What was the initial pot size?
400.
And you're only betting 200 into a
And Allen's going to call.
flush board. All right. Right now, you know what Allen has, in my opinion.
Unless he's got a weaker jack.
A weaker jack, but
This would be
you
really.
know that you're ahead right now.
If Allen hits the flush and Barry pays him off. And look at this. The turn is a 6. Allen's got the flush.
And the board pairs up. So now he thinks, oh,
Well,
all right, good.
Barry check. Well, at least he's going to get away from it. He folds.
If I don't have it, he's gonna fold it. Even if I don't have it, he can
I don't think he's the shit. He just took another guy down on a 5-1 shot.
Look at that grin. Allen is he's on fire here. Look at that stack of white chips.
Yeah, and Donna's saying in the headset here that he's never seen
Barry that mad.
she's never seen Barry this mad, and I've got to agree with you. Barry's just been hitting his hands and getting killed.
So email here from John James saying, if you pick up, he says, hi George, I agree, as does Barry Greenstein, on the excessive draw raise. If you pick up that raise or bet with the draw to excess, you pop them hard when you have the middle or top or middle set with a straight or flush draw. That will make them pull back. And you're a favorite in only about 4.5 to 1 dog if they hit their flush on the turn. I'm a little lost there. I don't exactly know what
We've
that
seen
guy's
about
referring
100
to.
hands tonight. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure which one he's referring to.
Well, Kenny's got an overpair here. Mike's got a gut shot.
Look at my favorite hand hitting the flop, huh? 9-7.
Yeah.
140.
Mike bets 140. Unfortunately for Mike, in order for him to make his hand, Kenny's going to fill up if he continues in the hand. And I don't think Kenny, let's see if Kenny's going to raise it up right now. He just calls. And now Allen calls with ace-king. Well, I mean, in this
Allen's
case,
just on fire. He's just playing his rush.
in
right
this
now.
case, at least it's a paired board, meaning if you hit your ace or your king, you don't have to be necessarily
No,
worried
he's
about
going to hit
two-pair.
runner on a flush. Watch this.
The turn's a queen. Mike checks. Mike,
Do
Kenny
you think
bet now.
Kenny should bet?
Well, do you think that Allen might have smooth called you with a 7 over there?
I guess you're going to find out. There's only one way to do that.
Yeah.
Allen's
bets.
out there quickly, so
If Mike calls here, he's got gigantic reversed implied odds. I don't even know how Mike is 7% there because he needs it. Oh, he could catch a jack, obviously. Jack would have been good for him. Rabbit shows a 7. And this is going to be the last hand of the night, George, as always. Thank you very much for stopping. I didn't think we saw some
Pleasure.
very exciting hands. I believe Dave Tuckman will be back tomorrow. We'll probably be doing a 200 or 3 to 5 game. Maybe we'll see you in this game Friday night, the 1,000.
Sure, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Since I'm not going to Vegas, good luck on the tournament.
Thank you.
Okay.
You believe what I laid down? You never believe me.
Yeah, right.
Pocket eights.
No.
Mike calls an all-in with pocket eights.
Four players.
Limped around here, king, queen, deuce.
Still haven't flopped a pair yet. It's been about a half hour since I flopped.
Wine, wine, wine. Turns a queen.
Beginning to sound a bit like me there, Mike.
Checked around. And it looks like
Ace high is gonna
Kenny
chop
and Mike are going to
chop
chop
it
it
up.
up.
Ace high.
We're going to chop it up. Queens and king.
Seven plays. No, the nine.
Oh, look at this. Majid's got ace-9, and the 9 is going to play over
Oh.
there.
All right. Majee slow rolls for the last
And he's
part of
going
the
to
night,
take it down. And that's going to do it for us tonight. As always, we appreciate you stopping by, checking out Live at the Bike. And again, thank you very much, George. Again, I want to remind everyone about the guest commentator promotion. Sign up for the archives if you haven't already. If you have, you are automatically entered into a random drawing that's going to be held July 11th. If you win the drawing, July 20th, you're here, you're guest commentating right in George's seat. You get a $500 buy-in into the 3 to 5 game plus a 6-month subscription extension to the archives. So for George Giorgio,
There you go.
I'm Bart
Gotta give you
Hansen.
some love for that. Thank you.
Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
So I'm saying, I'm 4-4 draw.
No, absolutely no draw, so I have a hand-up problem.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.